Okay. Well, I'll get the stream title ready. Also, the music is very loud in my ear, even though I've turned it down in the OBS. Welcome to my Elden Ring celebration stream, where I'm going to be not necessarily playing a game, but more so just chilling out and checking out some stuff online. Mainly, I'm going to be doing tier lists today, and potentially a little bit of AI Dungeon, because, well, not AI Dungeon, we'll talk about that in a second, but Elden Ring comes out in 4 days, less than 5 days, and I'm really excited for it. Right, these games take you through a journey, an unending journey which you have to end. Dark Souls, Sekiro, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne. They're all great in their own respects. There's not a single game in the series that I would call outright bad. And yeah, I've been playing them since the beginning of 2019, which is when Sekiro came out. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing some tier list stuff, mainly just talking with chat and just talking about, you know, why I like Souls games and why I think Souls games are a great genre of things to come, potentially in the future. And Elden Ring might just be the next step in, you know, creating the perfect gaming experience, I guess. Yeah, I'll use the word gaming. But without further ado, I guess I'll jump into it. I thought I would change the game category to Elden Ring, since we are technically talking about Elden Ring, so it makes more sense than games plus demos. I'm not playing either games or demos, so I mean, how would you categorize this? Streamer watches stuff online. Streamer looks up, does tier lists online. Is there actually a tier list category? If there is, I'll put it down. There is not. Okay, we're just gonna put Elden Ring in then. But yeah, this is going to be kind of mainly tier lists, but I do plan on getting on some AI stuff later on. AI is going to be not AI Dungeon. I know Mail and some others have played that in the past, but I've heard recently they've had a little bit of a problem with their AI software, is all I'm going to say. Basically, I think OpenAI stopped sourcing them and stopped supporting them, so yeah, the AI is not as good, and so I'm not going to be using that. I'm going to be using something else called Novel AI and see if we can get some good Dark Souls or Bloodborne stories in there. Alright, but let's move off the screen, shall we, since I'm done talking. Well, not done talking. This entire stream is going to be me talking, but... Alright, let's get over, shall we? So, get rid of that, and boot up our screen. Good. Wait, no, is it working? I don't think it is, actually. Oh, no, it is working. The countdown is working. Very good. I have just realized now that it says Elden Ring in... Oh! 2 different spots. Don't do that. Don't do that, OBS. That scared the crap out of me. Yeah, but I put the countdown here. I was going to put chat here, but I thought it might be quiet today, so I'll just put the countdown there instead, and we'll see how long it takes, because now it says Elden Ring, Elden Ring, Elden Ring celebration stream. I should have called it Elden Ring to the power of 3 stream. But let us start with some tier lists. So I've got up, there's going to be 3 different categories I'm going to be looking at, and location and bosses are going to take the longest. So yeah, that's location, bosses, and then I'm hoping to get onto games. I'm hoping to see what I can do with that. So yeah, anyone who is joining from the Elden Ring category page, I know people are currently streaming it right now. I won't be. This is sort of me, you know, being the streamer who doesn't have a key, so I'm just going to be playing, well, not playing, but looking at some stuff online and just doing some tier lists for the game and celebrating it. So for the most part, I've kind of avoided the stuff for Elden Ring. Like, I haven't been looking up anything, basically. I think the most I looked up was the first trailer and the second trailer. That's all I know. So I'm planning to avoid it completely. So if anyone does come in who's been watching Elden Ring, please mind spoilers, obviously. Oh yeah, I've also got moving backgrounds because I had some time to do that this week. So yeah, I've got a background for each game. So let's change it over to Demon Souls since we've had the Sekiro on for a little bit. Right, so let me get up this page, shall I? There it is. Oh yeah, it's a little bit stretched. In fact, let's de-stretch it, shall we? There we go. Let's put it in the middle there. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing tier lists. These are the ones I made because apparently there's not like a singular location tier list for any Souls game on Tier Maker. Like, they combine them together, but I wanted to keep them separate because I want to talk about each game as I go through them. So, yeah, we're going to be keeping it separate and just be going through the games in the order which I played them. So, your typical person probably would have streamed these games in the correct order. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. I streamed it in completely the reverse order. I did Sekiro first because I saw that game out in 2019 and I thought, hey, I'll check this out. I'll see what it's like. And I really enjoyed it. And then after that, I decided, okay, I like this company, FromSoft. What other games do they have? And that's when I checked out Dark Souls. So I started with, for some reason, I started with the third game, Dark Souls 3. I was just like, oh yeah, this won't go poorly at all. I'm sure I'll have a fantastic time with Dark Souls 3, you know, the third one in the series. So yeah, I played that one and it did not go well. The first playthrough, I died a lot. Certain bosses caused me a lot of pain. And it was not a time. It was not a good time. And then after that, I played Dark Souls 1. Surprisingly, I didn't stop after Dark Souls 3. I thought, okay, I'll play some more. But I played Dark Souls 1, and that game was, in my opinion, a lot nicer in terms of easing in the difficulty. I had a lot of fun with Dark Souls 1. Yeah, and then now I have a little bit of nostalgia for it because I like the bosses a lot and the music is also very good. I mean, Demon Souls is always called the OG Souls-like, but I think Dark Souls is really what reformed, you know, the ages. I mean, it's acclaimed as the best video game of the 21st century, so it has to be good. And then after that, obviously, I went over to Dark Souls 2, and that, as you know, there's a very split opinion on Dark Souls 2. Not a lot of people like it. I can understand why. It's not that I don't understand why people don't like the game. I 100% do. It is hard, it is not nice, and it wants you to die. And it's not a fun time. I think Mel described it best. It's like having Stockholm Syndrome for a game. I like Dark Souls 2 a lot. I like some of its ideas, its locations, the bosses, but yeah, it's not a very nice game. And then after that, well, as we know, in 2020, they announced Demon Souls for PS5. So when I got my hands on a PS5, I decided to check it out. And what music is this right now? Oh, it's Dancer. Okay. Also, you can see, YouTube. So yeah, I checked out Demon Souls in a PS5, and by that point, I had a pretty good idea how Souls games work. I think at that time I had revisited Dark Souls 3 again on a different run, and that one went a lot better. And then after Demon Souls, I think actually I checked out Bloodborne before Demon Souls, now that I think about it. But I didn't complete it. I stopped before like the last area. Which, now that I look at it after I streamed that game, I'm kind of disappointed in myself. Like, couldn't you have like egged on a little bit further, Flower? Then you wouldn't have, you know, played the game on stream. You would have done the DLC, and you wouldn't have embarrassed yourself in front of Orphan of Cods for 50 attempts. But yeah, I didn't finish Bloodborne when I first played it, so yeah. Then I played Demon Souls, and then eventually, as you know, this year I came back to Bloodborne. since I wanted to finish off all FromSoft games before Elden Ring came out. It's actually kind of weird thinking about it that I didn't finish Bloodborne until like a few months ago. That game's been out for so long now that it's kind of crazy to think about. Right, but yeah, that's kind of my overall experience of Dark Souls as a whole. I say Dark Souls, but it is a little bit strange calling it that, because the Souls series also includes Sekiro and Bloodborne, and people actually argue that those aren't Souls-like, so they're their own thing. But I argue they are. I mean, they're made by FromSoft, and they have very similar mechanics. I think the least similar is Sekiro. Sekiro kind of has its own thing going for it, which is why I like it so much. I mean, I also revisited Sekiro, like, when was it, like halfway through last year, and I love revisiting that game. That game is fantastic, and I actually did a lot better on my second playthrough than my first. Just gonna check the audio is okay. I think it is. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, that's kind of my overall experience with the Souls series. That's the order I played them in. And currently, I've played Dark Souls 1 again. I did a randomized run of it a while ago. So the only game I haven't come back to outside of Bloodborne and Demon Souls, because I played those recently, is Dark Souls 2. And I've been playing that recently. I've been doing the Augur of Darkness mod, and that is not a fun time. Admittedly. In fact, I'm pretty sure my Dark Souls 2 locations is going to be a little bit skewered by the mod. Apologies for that, because, well, the Augur changes a lot of enemy locations and also item locations, and I had a lot worse times in some places and a lot better times in some others. So yeah, that's something to note about that. But yeah, let's just get into this. So there's going to be some criteria I'm going to be mentioning at the beginning of this. Firstly, obviously, it's my subjective opinion. Well, it's subjective as to what I find locations are better. You might find locations better than I do, and that's fine. We all have different opinions, so let's not argue about it, obviously. But I am curious what people's tier lists are for this stuff, so, you know. These tier lists are there if anyone ever does want to do them. In fact, I'll put a link to them in the VOD for this, probably. Oh, look at that! You can see my mouth in both images! You can see it in the Elden Ring countdown too. Okay, I need to get rid of that. Hold on. There we go. Easy. I'll leave my mouse on here so you can see what I'm clicking on. But yeah, let's get this started. So the first Souls-like I played was Sekiro, as we know. And surprisingly, it doesn't have too many areas, but I think this is mainly due to the more complex nature of Sekiro's combat and bosses. So let me actually get some Sekiro music on, because this isn't Sekiro. This is the Souls music. So let me get some Sekiro music up. There we go. So to start with, in fact, give me a second. I just realized something. I don't have Studio Lab for this scene. Alert Lab. There we go. Just in case we get any notifications, now they'll appear. So yeah, Sekiro doesn't have too many in the way of locations. It's more so the areas are a lot bigger than some other Souls-likes, and I like that. It's kind of the opposite of Dark Souls. It's kind of the opposite of Dark Souls 2, which is all about quality over quantity. So yeah, when I kind of saw this, I was like, yes, this makes sense. This is the order we would go in for this. So yeah. So yeah, there's not too many locations, and another criteria is I'm not going to be weighing in the bosses in these areas as much as I should, probably, because the areas need to stand out on their own, and I'm going to be doing a boss tier list later on, so that is something to know. Let me get the Sekiro ambience up. There we go. So let's start, shall we, with the pinnacle of Dark Souls and Miyazaki's favorite part of making these games, the poison area. Although, actually, I don't think Abandoned Dungeon is a poison area. The only thing I remember about it was that side quest you have to do in there, the Doctor, and also the bug enemies. So it's actually more of like a medium area which you go through to get to other areas. So yeah, I don't really have any opinions on Abandoned Dungeon. It's just kind of like a mediator between certain places. So I'll put it in C because it's not bad, but it's also like not good either. It's just kind of there. Right, Ashina Castle. Oh, already we're going to one of the good ones. So Ashina Castle is an interesting place because it changes across the game. If you know that. If you've played Sekiro, obviously spoilers for all Souls-likes in this, but Ashina Castle changes across the game, which is one of my favourite parts about it. Like, basically, you can come here when the normal soldiers are there, when they're being invaded, when there's other soldiers there. It's like, it changes, and you can kind of see the progression of the story in it too, and I love that about this place. It also, and I said I wouldn't weigh bosses into this, it also has some of the best bosses in the game. Like, Genichiro is one of the best fights. I would say one of the best fights in the game. Top 3, definitely. So, yeah, when I'm weighing it like this, I would probably say Ashina Castle is S tier, because you can't really be an area that changes as you go through it. It's also really nice looking. It's kind of like the Anor Londo of Sekiro, and it's just really nice to look at. The enemies here get progressively more difficult. I like the roof lads, you know, the guys who are on kites and they jump towards you. I like those guys. But now into the next one, I guess they would all be together because it's all Ashina. Ashina Depths. So this is actually the poison area of Sekiro, because Miyazaki can't help himself. What do I think of it? Well, it's hard to quantify how a poison area. On the one hand, poison areas are usually really well designed, and they're some of the best, like, most complicated layouts in the series. On the other hand, they're a pain in the ass to get through, and this one's no sucker to that, because it also has like these gun enemies there. I don't know if you remember them, chat, but there's these shooty lads who just ruin your life when you go there, and I don't like them. And then after that, you get the whole mist area where you get attacked by enemies in the fog, and that is also not great. But I kind of like the ambience there. It's very mystical, and you don't really know what's going on. And the music is also really good. It reminds me a little bit of Shrine of Amana, with how you can hear this melody throughout the misty area, and it's very spooky. And yeah, I guess in terms of like design and atmosphere, I think Ashina Depths has some really good atmosphere. Oh yeah, I also like the part where you need to jump down like into the bottomless pit. That's a good set piece. So I guess I'll put it in. Do I put it in A tier? I don't like the gun part though. I'm gonna put it in B tier, high B tier. Right, Ashina Outskirts. So this is kind of like the first area you go to outside of the intro of the game. It's pretty easy in terms of enemy variety, because obviously they're trying to lead you into the game. They're trying to make you just kind of get used to the combat and the grappling gadgets. It's mostly a tutorial area, and as a tutorial, it does a fantastic job. And also, again, like Ashina Castle, it changes throughout the game. In fact, this is where you fight 2 of the hardest bosses in the game, and it's in the same arena. So I'm going to put it at A tier, I think. I like Ashina Outskirts a lot. Not S tier necessarily, because I think it doesn't have as much going for it in terms of looking cool as Ashina Castle. There's a real sense of scale with Ashina Castle, so Ashina Reservoir. I'm kind of middling on this one. There's a lot of cool story stuff here. This is where the beginning of the game happens and the end of the game. I love it when FromSoft does that. So I kind of like that, but also there's not a whole lot going on here. You don't really come back to here main story-wise until the end of the game after the intro. There's some good side stuff here. I like some of the spear lads you encounter here, and the trolls are pretty good too. But like outside of that, it doesn't really have that much going on for it outside of being the beginning and the ending of the game. So I would put it in B tier of Ash in the Depths. I like it, but I don't love it. Dilapidated Temple. So I kind of feel bad putting this on the list because, one, you don't fight any enemies here. There's no like basis of like quality in terms of enemy layout, like area layout. There isn't really that much you can base this off. It's just like the hub of the world. I guess if we also encounter the area in Ash in the Castle, it's kind of cool, but I don't know. I don't know where I'd put Dilapidated Temple because it's like a shrine. It's where you go to get your gadgets, where you go to test your skills and stuff. So, do I like it like compared to other hub areas? I guess I would say. I kind of prefer the sub areas in other Souls-likes. I think it's a lot smaller in scale, and there's not as many NPCs to interact with here. The NPCs are a lot cooler, mind you. I like Emma. I like the sculptor. I think they're really interesting characters. But like outside of that, it's more so just a room where you go to the shop, basically. So I'm gonna put it in C with Abandoned Dungeon, not D, because I still like it, and Dilapidated Temple is a good hub area. Just not the best in the series. Fountainhead Palace, I mean, I think I've said this before, not on stream, but Fountainhead Palace is the best area in the game, and one of the best areas in the series. It is so well designed, and it's even an area you don't have to go to. Like, this is a place that you can just miss entirely if you do the bad ending, and I find that really strange and kind of cool. Like, you can just miss this whole like incredibly designed place, and you just never know anything about it. So there's so much stuff to talk about at Fountainhead Palace. The enemies there are great. The whole like giant lake setting, it's massive in scale, it's isolated, so they can do a ton more stuff in terms of expanding the area. I like the swimming parts of the level, the fish is great, the lore is fantastic here, and I think it has one of the best atmospheres in the Souls area ever. So yeah, Fountainhead Palace, best area in the game by far. Right, Hirata Estate. So this is the memory area. So you actually, similar to Castle and Outskirts, you come back here 2 times in the game, and they each have different like the layout isn't too different. Like, it doesn't really change. It has like some like you go different routes basically, but I think one of the things I like a lot about Hirata Estate is it has like, it's a good way to like, you know, bring lore for the past. I guess it's kind of cool to go back into a memory. It reminds me a little bit of the memories in Dark Souls 2, but outside of that, I mean, the fire mechanics are cool, but it's just kind of a filler area where I don't know if you have to go there. I don't remember. Like, do you need to fight Lady Butterfly or not? I don't know. I don't know where I would put Hirata Estate. I think I would put it like here before Ash in the Reservoir, because I like that a lot more. It's a lot simpler. I think Hirata Estate just goes on for a little bit too long, and I don't know. There's not a lot going on in terms of design and graphic and you know, looking appealing. It's mainly just the beginning of any Final Fantasy game where the village is burning down. Alright. Anyway, next one. Mibu Village. Alright, this is kind of linked to Ash in the Depths in a way. Do I like it more than Ash in the Depths? Yeah, probably. I do actually like Mibu Village quite a bit. It's not the hardest of areas. It's kind of like a mini Fountainhead Palace, because there's a big lake in the middle which you can traverse, but there's like bad stuff in the lake, so you don't want to do that. Also, the enemies here aren't bad, like too difficult to deal with, but if you get like grouped up on them, they can be dreadful. I like the lore here too, and it's kind of like a hidden village, like they were trying to look for immortality, and it's got some interesting lore there for that too. What else about about Mibu Village? There's some good like NPCs there. They're kind of going crazy. I like that. I don't know if there's actually music that plays here, but I think a lot of Mibu's like greatness comes from its atmosphere. Like, I don't think there's a single area in Sekiro that is bad, which is why I haven't really put any in the D tier. But there's like areas that are like just there, basically, like abandoned dungeon. I would say abandoned dungeon doesn't have a lot going on for it because of that. And then leading on to our next one, Senpo Temple. Senpo Temple, I actually don't like Senpo Temple that much, and I think it's a little bit forgettable as an area. Like, there's some cool stuff there. The centipedes are interesting. The monkey part is great. But it's mainly similar to Huata Estate. You just kind of go there and you just kind of run through it. Abandoned Dungeon is the Valley of Drakes of Sekiro. Well, also welcome in Venetia Silva. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, I agree. It's basically there as a transition area. You don't care about it, you go through it. It's like going on the motorway. You don't think about the view because it's not interesting. Then you get off, you stop, you go get a McDonald's and it's fine. You don't care about it. Because I think Abandoned Dungeon connects not Fountainhead, it connects Reservoir, Castle, Senpo, and Ashna Depths. So yeah, it's kind of like the intermediate area between all those places. But Senpo, I'm going to put it here. After Ashna Reservoir, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Sunken Valley Passage, okay, this is a controversial opinion. I really like Sunken Valley Passage. So this is, I don't know if you encountered a snake here. I think that's after this area. Sunken Valley Passage is the place with all the guns, and you have to kind of work out how you're going to get through this fortress of people shooting you from a long distance. And I love that. I love the puzzles in that section and trying to work out how to get through it. And also, similar to Fountainhead, it's not Fountainhead. Similar to Reservoir and Mibu, it's kind of like its own thing. It's got its own thing going on for it, and this is very short too. It's not extended like Senpo or Huata. It's the perfect length for an area, I feel. And it also helps that this is kind of like part 1 of Sunken Valley. But I think I like this one a lot more, so I'm going to put it here. Sunken Valley, I guess it's a giant canyon? A canyon area, I guess? I don't really know what really goes on. There's monkeys, there's Miyazaki's favorite thing. There's poison in the bottom of there, isn't there? And you go to, and that's where you get to Ashna Depths, like the poison area. I like the snake like stealth section where you need to try and avoid like getting eaten by it. That's kind of interesting, I guess. You can kill the other snake by going through Senpu and flying across a kite, and you can kill it in Sunken Valley. But like, I don't really remember anything about it. It was just, again, not a lot happens here. So I'm gonna put it here. I like it a little bit more than Senpo. Actually, no, I don't. I like Senpo a little bit more. Right. After Bloodborne with your Hargle, FromSoftware loved to assault you with unfair ranged attacks. I would say they did that before in Dark Souls 2. Like, Shrine of Amana is just, Shrine of Amana is not okay. And speaking of, we are going to be getting onto that in a second, but right, that's my Sekiro ranking, I guess. Should I save this? Title of tier list. Sekiro. Locations. Save. Right, yeah, that's my ranking for this. Right, but if anyone does want to do their own ranking, I did make this myself, so you can find it on tier lists. Look for the Talking Flower on there. You can't even kill the amygdala. Yeah, you can, to be fair. The Amana sources, so you can kill them. That is true. That is very true. The lasers that the amygdala have are terrible, and they should be thrown out into the bin. Right, but anyway, on to the next Souls game I played, and this is going to be a weird one. So Sekiro was my first Souls-like. I played Dark Souls 3 next. Now, people love Dark Souls 3. I think it's a lot of people's favourite in the series. I can understand why. I think it's unique. I think it relies a little bit heavily on nostalgia. I will say that. I think I think the whole Anolondo and Earthen Peak stuff in the DLC feels a little bit on the nose from a dev that usually tries to be very original with new stuff and trying to be new all the time. I like Dark Souls 3 a lot, but it does kind of fall into the location problem, and I'm going to be saying this a lot, and spoiler warning, I don't like a lot of locations in Dark Souls 3. I think they're some of the weakest in the series, because, like, I don't know why they designed it like this, but they're so, like, I don't know how to describe them, but they feel very copy and paste from Dark Souls 1 and 2. Like, we've had our poison areas before, we've had our giant cathedral areas. Doesn't feel like Dark Souls 3 is doing anything new outside of Lothric Castle and the DLC stuff. And Irothil. But, yeah, anyway, it does feel like Dark Souls 3 is kind of like a love letter to Dark Souls fans. And that's good for people who like the series and been following up to that point. That's great. I didn't. I played it on my own. Like, after Sekiro, I had no nostalgia for the series. And I was just like, oh, this is a great game. I like this game a lot. It's really interesting. But, yeah, anyways, let's get into the tier list, shall we? Anolondo. We're already at the spicy opinions. I do not like Anolondo. I think visually it's kind of cool that you go back here after Dark Souls 1 and it makes sense story-wise. The problem is this area is 5 minutes long. You come here for not a lot of time at all. It's basically just a copy and paste of the same place in Dark Souls 1, which makes sense because it's the same area, I understand that, but I don't know what the idea here was. Okay, so you go back to Anolondo. Okay, you encountered the boss, Aldrich, who's eaten Gwendolyn. Sure, okay, that makes sense. But anything between that, I don't like, because it's such a short area. They could have done a lot more of it, I feel like. I feel like Irothil as an area suffers because they're trying to put all these old stuff into it. Like, I think up to Pontiff, Irothil is one of the best areas in the game, but then because they just add in Anolondo at the end, it kind of just falls short because of that. Lothric Castle is just Boletaria 2.0, kind of, yeah, but I like Lothric. I think it looks more interesting than Boletaria. Algus is just annoying, it's a lot of RNG to survive the encounter of casual. Yeah, I'll probably talk about that when we get to the boss. But yeah, Anolondo, I don't love it. Archdragon Peak, okay, you know what? I do actually like Archdragon Peak. I do, and that's because I do like dragons as fantasy creatures, so that's kind of cool. And the whole boss, what was it called? The Great Wyvern, whatever it's called. That's well done. I will say, it's happened a little bit in this game where they have a lot of location bosses. It's kind of like Dragon God from Demon Souls. They always need one of these in the game, and yeah, I think it's fine. But, you know, the main part of Archdragon Peak, what everyone talks about, is Nameless King, and the build-up to Nameless King is great. I love that about Archdragon Peak, and, like, ringing the bell, going through it, I think it's one of the more interesting areas. Saying that, though, it's also kind of doesn't really have a lot going on for it. Like, content-wise, you have, what, the boss, weird dragon enemies, no like gimmicks or mechanics, it's mainly just that, and then you ring the bell at the end. So I'm gonna put it B tier, I think. Will be a good place for that. I am mixing Archdragon Peak. The enemies are so bizarre. If you're a slow weapon build, the serpents murder you so fast. Yeah. The serpents aren't fun enemies. I remember having a lot of difficulty in my first playthrough of that boss just because I tried to kill all the enemies, and you shouldn't do that, you should run past them. I think Dark Souls teaches you at some point that when you have a boss run, you either run through there and avoid all enemies, or you don't. You wait, also, why is the timer not going? I just realized that. The Elden Ring countdown's not going down. Do I need to be clicked on it? Hold on. There we go. Maybe now it'll work. No, it stops when I don't click on it. Oh, wow. Anyway, Catacombs of Carthus. I mean, it's basically a Chalice dungeon. It feels like when I was going through this and Smoldering Lake that I was going through the Bloodborne Chalice dungeons again, and I was getting PTSD of it. C tier. I don't like catacombs that much. I like the boulder thing where you need to go find the weird like skeleton with a hat and kill them and it destroys the boulder. That's kind of cool. But like there's these, I forgot what they're called. I don't know what they're called, but it's these dual-wielding skeleton enemies with red eyes, and they can suck the biggest of Dark Souls nuts. I hate them so much. They do so much damage for such an early place in the game that it's not okay. But also kind of combined with that, Cathedral of the Deep. I actually kind of like Cathedral. I think Cathedral is actually one of the better areas in the game. Mainly because it kind of goes down to what it's meant to be, and that's a giant cathedral. You run through it, you can go basically anywhere in there. The ramparts, the middle place, the ground floor of the giants. I like that part a lot. You also encounter Patches here who tries to yeet you off the edge. That's not okay. And also I like Deacons at the end. And also the enemies here are quite interesting. It's kind of like the first time you go to Anor Londo. You go around the side and trying to get through it. I also like the beginning part, and that reminds me, Venetia, you actually reminded me, the beginning part of the leeches is really cool, and also you can encounter the giant here again, where they fire arrows at you, but if you give them the birch branch, they'll stop attacking you. That's kind of cool. So you know what? Cathedral of the Deep is a very well-made area. I don't know. I wish it was more visually interesting to look at, I guess. Cemetery of Ash. I don't actually know where I'd put this, because it has a lot of stuff going on for it. It's a tutorial area for one, which, you know, makes it go higher than some of the others on this list, because it needs to teach you a lot of stuff while also allowing fans of the series to also get into it quickly. I think Cemetery does a good job of that. Same with High Wall of Lothric. The boss here is great. It's also really short, but which makes me think I don't really know where I can put it, because it's short. There's some cool stuff in there with the Crystal Lizard the first time. But yeah, I don't know. I think I would put it at C tier? Like, I like it more than Catacombs. Oh, I'll put it at B tier. I think that's a nice place to put it. The only thing that actually has colour is the Crystal Lizard. Yeah, it's very bland looking. I think Dark Souls 3 has this problem for a lot of its areas. It's very brown looking. I think 1 and 2 actually have a lot more colour going on for them. Like, and they're definitely Bloodborne and Sekiro. Sekiro and Bloodborne are probably the most visually pleasing areas in the series, I would say. It's just grayscale, yeah. Which I guess can kind of fall into the whole lore of the game. Like, when you play Dark Souls, it's all about how the world's ending. But, I don't know, I kind of would like it to look a little bit more pleasing, I guess. Right, Church of Yorska, I didn't even know this was a place until I did this ranking when I was making it. Apparently, the temple where you fight the spear god, the summoner enemy in Ving City, that counts as a location. So you know where this is going. It's going D, because it's like 2 minutes long. You fight a summoner, which is kind of cool, but like I said before, I'm not talking about the bosses here. As an area, it's one room, and then you go and talk to the bot, and then you go to talk to the Dragon Egg, and then you go get taken to the final boss of the DLC. I guess if you also encountered Gale's Arena, like, it would be at C tier, but I'm not, so... Right, Consumed King's Garden. I mean, it's basically like a mini Blighttown, and it's got annoying big enemies. I like Osiris at the end. I think I like the lore behind him. It's where you meet Anri for the last time. Oh, interesting. I don't know if she even appeared in the DLC now that I look at it. I don't know. Consumed King's Garden? I would put it between these two. I like it more than Anor Londo. I can't believe I'm putting Anor Londo so low. I think it's because I'm looking at it at a very critical point of view. Like, when I went there for the first time, like, I had no idea what Anor Londo was. For one, I was like, oh, okay, this is a place, I guess. But Consumed King Garden, I like the lore there. It's very short. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Yeah. Because they could have made Consume King's Garden like 5 times bigger than it actually was. So, yeah. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they restrained themselves. Miyazaki was like, I want a giant poison garden area, and the people had to beg him not to do it. Like, no, Miyazaki, please, let's make it small. And he made it small. So good. Dreg Heap. Okay, so Dreg Heap is this high because it's so big. It's one of the biggest areas in the game, and I like how it looks. I know it's the same design as Kiln of the First Flame, but I played this with the DLCs. This is the first time I saw this. Dreg Heap was the first time I saw like the worlds colliding together, and I like the butterflies and how you have to dodge them. It kind of that whole Amana thing, and like you mentioning Silver, the Yahargul stuff with the lasers. I think it's done well here because you can kill them and they don't respawn after that. After replaying it, I thought that seeing the Earthen Peak again was a nice nod to DS2, even if it was fan service. I liked that. It was cool. Again, Miyazaki, poison area. He loves them. And then I like the transition into fighting the demon in pain and demon from below, which is actually, as far as I know, lore-wise, that's actually meant to be the first fire link from Dark Souls 1, so that's really interesting. And yeah, I just like the lore behind Dreg Heap and how it looks, mostly. And also the enemies here are quite fun too. Right, Found Keep. Oh boy, Found Keep. Okay, Zelda joke aside, I don't know how to feel about Found Keep because this is kind of like Dark Souls 3's Blighttown. You have to light 3 flames in this giant swamp area, and that allows you access to the Abyss Watchers. And as an idea, that's kind of cool. Like you have to try and traverse this giant swamp, but in like execution, this area can fuck off. I hate it. I don't like Found Keep. I'm gonna put it here. No, below Found Keep. There's these enemies here. Yeah, they're called the Grues, which are horrible, and I just don't like the idea of traversing a giant swamp. It's good training for Elden Ring because I know there's going to be a lot of giant swamp areas. So, yeah. Right. Anyway, next one, Firelink Shrine. Okay. This is going to be controversial, and I know there's no enemies here, but I'm putting this at S tier. I think Firelink Shrine might be my favourite version of the hub area in the series. It's just the most iconic out of them all. I also like where the NPCs are placed, and I think it has one of the best designs of a hub area in the series. Like, the stuff that goes on here isn't like too lore focused, like it's not like Nexus where you go below it at the end, and I know, yeah, like you just said, Silver, it's like Nexus, but I will probably also put Nexus at S tier too when I get there because I like Nexus quite a bit too. But like, this isn't my critical ranking. This is just my subjective viewpoint. I think Firelink Shrine is one of the best hub areas in the series, and I think they do a good job of it. Overall. So yeah, I'm gonna put it S tier. Grand Archives. Okay, also controversial opinion. I really like Grand Archives. I think Grand Archives has the thing that Duke's Archives was kind of lacking in Dark Souls 1. Duke's Archives was basically big library with horrible shooting enemies. In this, it feels a lot more like a library. The enemies here are scholars. They got like these weird wax designs. I like the book, like the ghost books who attack you and build up your curse. That's really fun. The rooftop part where you have to kill the gargoyles is really great. I like the build up to the Lothric and whatever the other brother's name is so great. I love it. I think Grand Archives has a lot of great stuff going for it, and I think it's one of the best final-ish areas of the series. It's really difficult, I will say that, and the actual like library part of it is really well designed. It's really complicated, and I enjoy that about it. You also got that Crystal Sage there that you have to kill. I like that too. And she also doesn't respawn, which is a nice thing. That Dark Souls 3 and later games kind of try and do. Dark Souls 2, on the other hand, if there's like a really annoying enemy, they always respawn, and it's not okay. Well, the 4 and 4s will always kill. Yeah, there is the Dark Souls 3 gank squad at the end of Grand Archives. I didn't have much trouble with them because you can actually like break them apart and fight them individually. Compared to DS2's gank squad, and we'll get on to that. Trust me, we'll be there in a second. But next one, High Wall of Lothric. Oh, I feel bad if I put this higher than Cemetery, but I think I'm gonna put it 8 here. I think High Wall is a great like introduction to Lothric as an area. I like it quite a bit because it's basically welcome to Dark Souls 3. You're about to get your ass kicked. This area is not nice to newcomers. It's hard, especially how early on it is. When you hear people say in Dark Souls 3, always level up vitality first, this is the reason why. This area is pain and suffering. And like it's weird because this area is so much more difficult than Undead Settlement, which is the one right afterwards. But the dragon appearance is good. I like the places where you fight the knights. The build up to the dancer fight is great too. And also it kind of has the same thing that I mentioned about Ashina Castle, where it changes depending on the lore. Changes over time because of the story. I will say though, when I found out about it from Mail, that they actually had original concepts for Dark Souls 3. Like they were originally planning on doing a lot more with the dark side in the sky. They were planning on having dragons appearing, like flying around in the background. I kind of wish we could have saw that, but yeah, it's just the way it is. So yeah, High Wall of Lothric, 8 here. It's very good. I like it a lot. Irithyll Dungeon, B tier. So Irithyll Dungeon is actually quite a well-made area. I know people don't like it because it's basically that area from Demon Souls. What was it called? Prison of Hope, I think. Yeah, it's very similar to that, but I also kind of like it because its enemy variety is really interesting. You got the branding witches who reduced your health to like 1 hit point. I like that. The enemy here is really cool too. Like you fight another giant here. There was other enemies here. There's really creepy ones inside the cages. I forgot what they're called though. What else does it have going for it? This is how you get to Archdragon Peak. I like how you progress through it. It's basically like a Chalice dungeon, but actually like really complicated in its layout. It reminds me a little bit of a Zelda dungeon, basically. So yeah, I think Irithyll Dungeon's a lot better than people give it credit for. I wish High Wall of Lothric gave more sorcery stuff. Yeah. When I went on my second playthrough of Dark Souls 3, I had a pyromancy build, and that was quite fun to do. It's actually a lot easier than my original build. Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. Now, Irithyll is one of the best looking areas in the game. Might be the best looking area. We were talking before about how every area looks like it's in grayscale. Irithyll has a lot of nice color to it, I think. I like the blue, like kind of like Winter Town-esque Hogwarts feel to it. It has. But saying that, Irithyll also is not great. I think I like the idea behind it. You're traversing this giant like castle, this giant town. It's interesting in that respect, but also like the enemies here are just knights, and then you get to. There's some good variety with the sewer section, the part where you fight Pontiff, but also like I don't know. I think Irithyll doesn't have that much in the way of set pieces. Like Anolondo, when you got there, you traversed the wall, you went over the ramparts, you went through like the main like castle area, you then went to the top of the main hall. Irithyll was just like going down like Night Avenue, just fight lots of knights, and then you get to the end of it, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess it's over now. I think it would have helped, and I know people like. Also, hold on, I just realized something. We've been playing Sekiro music. We're back at Dark Souls now. I think I'm gonna put it at B tier, below Irithyll Dungeon. I am being very cruel to these really cool looking areas. But Like, Kiln of the First Flame. It's a boss? I can't count the boss, though. It's like a walk-up. I think... Okay, I know people don't like it, but in Dark Souls 1, when you got to the Kiln of the First Flame, you had to deal with Dark Knights. And that wasn't great because you had to fight them every single time you wanted to get to Gwyn, and I know that pissed a lot of people off. But I kind of liked that. It was like a last challenge before the final boss. But saying that, Kiln, the one in this game has no challenge. There's no enemies before the actual fight. And it kind of works, I guess, because you don't really want to fight anything before the final boss. But yeah, it looks cool. It's basically the Drag Heat, but what it actually looked like before the DLC. So, I don't want to put it above these. I'm gonna put it at the end. I'm gonna put it after Analondo, just to piss people off. B for Kiln? I could put it at B. I don't really know what else it has going for it, to be honest. Like outside of a walk up. I guess lore-wise, it's the most important area in the game, but I don't know. My opinion could be easily changed. Alright, but anyway, Lothwick Castle. It's a secondary access point for the Dreadkeep DLC. That is true. Lothwick Castle. Wait, why am I putting it below Cemetery? No, yeah. Lothwick Castle, again, kind of falls into the Dark Souls 3 problem of not having a whole lot going on outside of fighting, like, tons of knights, basically. I like the dragon part with the twin dragons and you having to try and avoid them, but, like, that's one section of the area, and it's also really short for, like, the main castle of the game. Like, did anyone else notice this, where you have Consumed Gardens, you have Grand Archives, which are great, which are pretty good. And then you have Lothwick Castle, which is kind of like the intermediate area. It's just kind of there. Like, it's there for you to fight Dragon Slayer armor. It's kind of like a wet exit thing. Like, okay, we need to have the castle. We need to have the player go through the castles. Let's just have an area there for it. Not a whole lot goes on outside of that. It's just kind of just there, atmosphere-wise. Right, Painted World of Ariandel. A tier. Yeah, I like Painted World. I think I like the first game's one more, but run, grab chunks, fight boss, Lothwick Cap. That's basically what it is. It's just there. It's kind of like Abandoned Dungeon. It's just there to transition the area between Grand Archives and High Wall of Lothwick. Painted World. Oh, we got the creepy Dark Souls 2 music playing right now. Very good. Painted World is great. I think the DLC areas are fantastic for the most part. They're kind of what I wanted for the main game areas. They're visually interesting. Enemy variety is great. There's lots of cool set pieces that happen. I love the progression in the story in Painted World, how you progressively find out about the sinister plotline going on, like the disease that's spreading through Painted World, the whole, like, how it's slowly rotting over time. I love that part. And Frida is great. I know people hate her because of how long the fight takes, but I love the Frida fight. And the whole, like, redoing, whole, like, trying to make your own painting thing, like, starting again is really hopeful, and I like that about Painted World of Ariandel. Also, it's always nice to have a snow area in Dark Souls. We don't get enough of them. The Corvian Knights can go fuck off. They're just Bloodborne enemies. Yeah. I don't really remember too much enemy-wise, but... Oh! Hold on, no, let's go to D tier, because I just remembered the Grave Tender boss. Where you have to fight the grave people at the bottom in the snow area. That's not okay. I hate that place. It's like the most pointless area in the game, and I don't know why it exists. We can go back. Yeah, but I like it a little bit less than Dreadkeep because I think Dreadkeep has a lot more. I like it more visually interesting, I think. Okay, Profaned Capital. This is a hard one, chat. I kind of like... It's kind of like... I would put it at end of the A tier. I think Profaned has there's a few cool looking areas. Like I like the central arena place. Then when you like walk up to Yorm in the in like the gold filled like ruins, basically, I think that's fun. The pyromancer stuff here is also really interesting. I like the gargoyle fights quite a bit. This is the first time you encounter the gargoyles, which is great. And then there's also that little side area with like the poison swamp and going inside of that church for the first time. And you encounter those horrible those horrible like finger enemies that can kill you in one hit. I hate those guys, but also they're really creepy and they're really well made. And like you said, Silver, Sigurd, yes, that is why it's at A tier, because he's great and we love Sigurd. We must protect him. Anyway, vote of sacrifices. I mean, where else is it going to go? When you think of Dark Souls 3, the first area that comes to your mind is not going to be Void of Sacrifices. Why? Because, again, it's a transitionary area. It doesn't exist. It only exists to, like, send you off to... Oh, Abyss Watchers. It only exists to send you off to... Wait, hold on. Cathedral of the Deep, I completely forgot. Cathedral of the Deep and Foundkeep. And that's, you know, interesting. That's an interesting concept, I guess, as a transitionary area. But, like, it has nothing going on for it. It also leads to Crystal Sage, which a lot of people, like, when the game first came out, apparently Crystal Sage was nerfed, like, because it was really easy when it first came out, so they made it a lot harder. So yeah, there's that. I just don't like Void of Sacrifices. It's just kind of there, and I always forget it exists. I do like the giant crabs, though. Oh, wait, I do like the crabs. Oh, I like the crabs. I'm gonna put it... not above Kiln. Smoldering Lake, we can put this at D tier. I think Smoldering kind of falls into the same problem that Lost Izalith does, and that's kind of ironic because, you know, Dark Souls 1's Lost Izalith was rushed. They had to finish the game in a certain amount of time, so they rushed Demon Ruins and Lost Izalith, so we had like one of the most like quickly put together areas in the game. It has a cool invasion with Hearth, that's true. Hersal, and then it has the whole, like, Chalice Dungeon part that I kind of hate. I don't know why it exists. It feels like padding. And the whole, like, crossbow thing and the giant worm would be cool. But then, like, Smoldering Lake is just, like... It's more annoying than fun, I would say. Unfortunately. But next one. The Ring City. Oh. Yes. I think Ring City has a lot of like biased nostalgia for it because this area pained me when I first went through it. Also, what's this music right now? Oh, Demon Souls. I had the worst time with the Ring City. Hashtag is of Deserve Bear. Yes, I did. I think Ring City it's one of the most difficult areas in the series. It has some really great stuff in there. I like the ring like knights you encounter. Medea, who I will talk about later, is not fun. It's not the best of times. I like when you encounter him. The whole like giant like lake areas with. Oh, Finn in the teacup with the Wade. How are you doing today, Finn? You have raided the flower garden. We are currently running through Dark Souls 3 areas. How was Little Hope going? I hope you're doing good today, Finn. Also, let me get the countdown reset. There we go. But yeah, Ring City is great, and I like it a lot. There's not a whole lot I can say about it, though, like in terms of area design. I think it just exists, and we can all be happy about it. But yeah, welcome in, Finn. I hope you're doing good today. Right, Undead Settlement. Undead Settlement. I thought it was going to be an Elden Ring. Yes, that's right, Ping. I got a key a week earlier. I was going to play some Elden Ring. I don't have an Elden Ring key. This is not me streaming a game. And for that, I don't like Ring City. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. There is like NPCs there that do like get like hurt, and then you can't talk to them again after that. I'll put it behind Grand Archives. Nah, Ping, I'm not going to be streaming Elden Ring, by the way. I thought that because everyone else is going to be streaming it, that I would just record it and then upload all my videos like about a month after I finish, when I'm done, so people can just watch it there instead. Undead Settlement. Okay. I don't know how I feel about Undead Settlement. I mean, it exists. It's definitely an area in this game. I'm going to put it at B tier. I like the part where you get shot by the giant in the tower. The whole like tower part is really fun, actually. Okay, actually, hold on. There we go. I remember the Sigurd part now, where you fight the demon with him. That's great. What's this music? I feel like oh, it's Gwyneth. Okay. There's also Irina. That is true. There was also Irina. I think Undead Settlement is one of the examples of how you can design an area that's not too interesting. Like, it's basically a village. That's all it is. But it's also really fun. Hashtag amazing chest ahead. That is what it was. Alright, and finally, Untended Graves. I'm going to put it higher than Cemetery of Ash. And the reason why I'm putting these two together is because Untended Graves is a reskin of Cemetery of Ash, but I like it more because the lore behind it. Because if you also count the Firelink Shrine area in there, hold on, if we do count that, yeah, I'll leave it there. I think it's one of the most creepy areas in the game in terms of horror vibes and making the player feel unsettled. The boss here is great. Ludic's Gundyr is fucking one of the best fights in the series. And yeah, I like the whole it's completely dark. It's basically a really cheap area to make because it's a reskin, but it's also great. So yeah, that's my list for Dark Souls 3. Some controversial opinions with Anor Londo being at the bottom, but you know what? I'm happy with it. Right, let's get this Dark Souls 3 locations. I am gonna have to speed up a little bit if we want to do the other ones. So what's the next game? Dark Souls 1, I think, right? Yes, Dark Souls 1. No, not Sekiro. I've already done Sekiro. In fact, hold on. I didn't even... Hold on. I've been... Streamer, why you write Anor Londo and shit? Let me write. Gonna give a follow to Finn, everyone. She was playing Little Hope, and I don't know how far you've gone through that game now, Finn. But I hope it's going well, and I hope you're having a good time with it. Right, okay, here we go. So, a lot of people have nostalgia for Dark Souls 1. It is, after all, what people consider the first Souls like. Demon Souls also exists, but that's kind of like the younger brother, the older brother in the room, who doesn't get a whole lot of attention because the new brother's gets a lot more attention, so they're just kind of there in the background. That's what Dark Souls 1 is. But yeah, I don't have any nostalgia for this game, so my list is going to be shocking, to say the least. And to start that off with, Anor Londo. No. Of course Anor Londo isn't going to be D tier. It's one of the best areas in the entire series. I'm not going to start off my list by saying Anor Londo is one of the shittest areas in the existence of time. Anor Londo is fucking great. I love Anor Londo. I mean, what else is there to say other than what people have said about it? There is a lot of great videos online that analyze Anor Londo and in its layout and kind of explain why it's so good. But to briefly explain why I think it's so good, it's mainly the shock value of seeing it for the first time. Like, up to this point, you don't really know what to expect in terms of the game and the scope of the game. It's more like, oh, we're just traversing through these horrible ruin areas and going through like Blight Town, Sen's Fortress, or Undead Bug. Nothing like giant in scale that's happened yet. And then you get lifted up by those crow boys and you get taken to Anor Londo, and it's just one of the most beautiful places in the series. So is Blight Town going to H? You shall find out when we get to it, Pink. Anor Londo then, like, structurally is really interesting. The ramparts is fun, but also annoying. The actual part where you get shot down by the knights on the rooftops is not okay. But then again, it's also really well designed, so I can't hate it for that. There's a great like invader battle you have to do here to save your... I don't know if chat, if you remember this, but there's a point in this where you need to save the Firelink Shrine Firekeeper, and you have to go into someone else's world to do that. That's a really fun bit, I think. So yeah. Anor Londo. Chat! It's Plinplon! Is it? No, it's not Plinplon. Oh, wait, I thought it was. Oh. It sounded like Plinplon, didn't it? Right, but yeah, Anor Londo, fantastic area. And also, I like if you kill Guinevere. Why would you ever kill Guinevere? But if you do kill her, the entire city becomes dark, and it actually changes every single location in there. That's great. I love that about this. It's basically like an illusion plastered over the place. Kind of tells you the scope of Dark Souls 2 and how much like everything has gone to ruin, basically. Next one, Ash Lake. I think a lot of why I like Ash Lake is because of its like design. When you come here for the first time, in fact, let me play the music actually, because the music here is fantastic. Like DS1. Like, if you ever really wanted to find out, like, the moment where you fall in love with a game, it would either be Ash Lake or Anor Londo. So I was just closing down my stream. No worries, Finn. I was just asking how is Little Hope doing, and I hope you're doing good today. Hope all is going well for the times, the streams. But Ash Lake. Again, it's the Anor Londo thing. You come here and you just get taken aback by its beauty. Just a giant basically a giant lake of ash, with with trees spanning up into the abyss and into the unknown. And then you also have the Hydra here, and I love my first reaction to when I found out the Hydra could jump across the entire area and just fly across and shoot you. That was terrifying, but also is kind of incredible. But Ash Lake is fantastic. It's one of the most atmospheric places in the series. Not as good as Anor Londo, because outside of like the part where you fight the crabs and the Hydra boss, there's not really a whole lot going on here. But yeah, Ash Lake, fantastic area. Battle of Stoicism. So I didn't know what this was. Thank you. I realized in the last 10 minutes of the stream that I was failing at the QTE because I'd got my left and right confused. Oh no. Well, to be fair, I feel like all of us have done that a few times, especially me. Like, the amount of times I've got my east and my west confused playing games is startling. I'm pretty sure when I was playing Metroid, I forgot I could do I had a charge beam. I don't know if it was Zero Mission or Fusion. It might have been Fusion. I forgot I could even charge beam. So it happens to all of us. Must be waste indeed. But Battle of Stoicism, similar to the Church of Yorska, I didn't know it existed until I was looking up these locations. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, so I'm putting it a D tier. I don't know what this place is. I'm assuming it's where you fight the PvP guys in in Ulasil in the Royal Wood after Artorias, but I'm not too sure, so I'm just gonna put it there. Oh boy, we need to get appropriate music for this. Thank you, Cute Out has died because I was a silly bean. Yeah, that is true. I forgot that Little Hope, and those sorts of games is where you can fail, you can lose characters because of QTE events. That's one of the reasons why I don't love those games, because like you can't really control that. Like QTEs are something that are difficult for a lot of people, especially myself. Like I'm playing God of War at the moment, and there's these horrible joystick QTEs you have to do, and I just can't get them right, and I just end up taking tons of damage because of it. But yeah, I don't love the obsession for QTEs determining character outcomes. I'd rather it was more actual decision making. But yeah, here we go. The one and only, we're here now. That's the wrong theme. I said, oh wait, no, hold on. Here we go. Blighttown. Yeah, okay. So Blighttown. Yeah. I'm actually gonna hide the screen for a second. I'm gonna talk about it and then show you where I put it. Give me a second. So Blighttown is an area. It's one of the first poison swamp areas in the series, but it doesn't start off as a poison swamp. You firstly go through the woodworks part of it, where you have to climb down rafters, you have to beat enemies that throw darts at you. I remember Mail was playing it, and we got really annoyed by the toxic darts, because once they throw one dart, you get toxic. And toxic, if you don't know what that is in Dark Souls, it's basically super poison. It will kill you faster than life itself, and it's not good at all. And we don't want to get toxic. Good news is those enemies don't respawn after you kill them, so that's nice. But there's a lot of interesting design decisions, like the rickety bridge part, the whole climbing down Blighttown, and then you get to the bottom of it, and then you can go to either the Great Hollow or you can go to Quelaag's Domain. It connects a lot of places together, but it's also it's very well designed too, and it's annoying. Don't mind you, it's really annoying, the area is, but there's no other place to put it, I think, chat, than, well, S tier. It's one of the best designed areas in the series, and while I despise its existence, you can't deny it's one of the best designed areas ever in the Souls series, and that's kind of why it's S tier. I'm not joking, by the way. This isn't me trying to be, controversial, be like, yes, I will put it in S tier. I generally do love Blighttown. Saying that, don't make more of these areas, Miyazaki. We don't need more. We don't need more Blightowns. It's like going on a roller coaster for the first time. You hate it, you don't want to go on it, but once you have it, once you've done it, you're like, wow, that was really fun. I'd never want to go back on it though. But yeah, that is the decision. I'm gonna get a lot of attack for that, but you know what? I'm fine with that. Let's put some more music back on. Right, Chasm of the Abyss. Okay, so that's the final DLC area, isn't it? Where you go through, what's it called? Ulasil Township. I don't really have any thoughts on it. You get attacked by the humanities. The humanities look cool, I guess. It's kind of interesting that your main item you've been using up to this point is now, well, basically the enemy of the area. And yeah, and then you can also save Sif and have Sif help you in the fight with Manus. That's kind of cool. But not really a lot else happens. It's more so just an abyss area, I guess. So I'll put it in B tier. I do like the design of it quite a bit. But next we have Crystal Cave. Oh god, we're already at another one that's controversial. I'm putting this a D. So you kind of have the opposite ends of the spectrum. One, really well designed areas that I like a lot, and the other end, areas that are terrible and they should never have existed. I don't know why they thought it'd be a good idea to make an area where you have invisible platforms in a game where if you fall, you can't come back. That's the end. If you fall, you die, and there's no coming back from it. Which is why I'm confused why a lot of people love this area. A lot of people have gone on record and said they love Crystal Cave. I don't know why, but yeah. I mean, it's all down to opinions, I guess, but Crystal Cave I do not like at all. It's also the only other area where you encounter the moonlight butterflies, and they're like enemies there. Kind of, Dark Souls 1 does this a lot, like where you fight a boss and then they become regular enemies down the line. Like it's happened with Taurus Demon, Kappa Demon, and this now happened with Moonlight Butterfly, and I don't like it at all. And like Silver says, once you work out the pattern of the area, you don't really have to worry about it anymore. Saying that, you can still slip off the crystals, and you can still die a lot. So yeah, Crystal Cave, D tier. I do not like. Darkroot Basin. Ooh, I don't see. I do know where I'd put Darkroot Basin. Darkroot Basin is one of those areas you don't really think about with Dark Souls 1 as being like memorable. It's not really the most memorable area. I think the most memorable thing about it is the part where you fight the Hydra, I guess. But also, the Hydra in itself is not a good enemy because it glitches out. It can get stuck behind the rocks and you can't hit its heads. And that's kind of why I don't like it a lot. I think Darkroot Garden actually is a lot better in that respect. In fact, I'm gonna put Darkroot Garden here now. Darkroot Basin has amazing gear, Grass Quest. Oh yeah, I'm sure it has amazing gear, but that's not what I'm basing it on. I'm basing it on like my own enjoyment of it, I guess, and also what I think, like how it's designed. And I like to look at areas like that in a subjective like viewpoint. Like a location, sure, might suck and you might hate it, but I also like to look at it as, is this area well designed? Was it designed to be frustrating, or was that a byproduct of poor design? And I think Blighttown is a great example of that, while Crystal Cave is the latter. But Darkroot Basin, it exists. It's there. You get to the DLC for it, so sure. What's this? Oh. Demon Ruins. See, the thing about Demon Ruins is I feel kind of bad putting it at C because it can't really defend itself. It was rushed. Its development was rushed. They couldn't really do anything about that. But also, there's some cool stuff in Demon Ruins. Like, I like the part where you fight Ceaseless Discharge. The Centipede Demon is not the best boss, but it's not bad either. The problem I have with Demon Ruins, and it's the same with Lost Isolisk, they have like this weird obsession with making the player go through giant vats of lava. And even after getting the ring, you still take a ton of damage in there. So it's basically like an Estus sponge. You have to go through there, and you have to take a lot of damage to make progress. And Dark Souls 1 loves to do this, and the same with 2 actually. They love to put items in the worst possible locations, and basically it's like a mini puzzle. Like, can the player get to this item before they die from lava? And I kind of hate that. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. And again, it was rushed. The enemies here are just reused bosses. You fight Taurus Demon, Kappa Demon. I like the centipedes, they're kind of cool, and they do a lot of damage too. But outside of that, it's just kind of like a rushed area, and I don't really have anything else to say about it. Depths! Ooh! Another controversial one. So, Depths. We can talk about that. This is kind of like the sewer level of Dark Souls. Welcome in, everyone. You just caught me talking about the sewer level in the game. What music? Oh. Depths is... It's similar to Blighttown. It's well designed. I like how you have to progress through it. It kind of like warns the player to not just head first run through areas. It's one of the most like claustrophobic places in the entire game. You can't just run through there. You'll get attacked by slimes, rats, a giant rat at one point, and then you fight Gaping Dragon at the end, and that is a hard fight too. I think Depths kind of is a good tutorial area for players who rush things and try and run through areas. You basically can't do that in Depths. You have to kill them one by one. Okay, Firelink Shrine. Oh boy. I don't know where to put this. On the one hand, I like it a lot. It's the OG Firelink. It's where all the NPCs hang out. It's how you get to the kiln of the first flame. It connects almost every area in the game, and I have to commend Dark Souls 1 for that. It connects basically all the areas together, and it has one of the best maps in the series. Saying that though, I don't know where to put it. I don't know whether it's good because it hasn't got any enemy encounters, but you do actually fight enemies here. There is a cemetery, and there's also the pathway to New Londo too, so I don't know. I'm going to put it at A. Yeah, I'm going to put it with Ash Lake, because it's similar to Ash Lake in the respect that there's not a lot going on here, but the lore implications are great, and also you talk to all the NPCs here. So, yeah, I'm going to put it at A tier. Right. Kiln of the First Flame. Okay. Controversial opinion. I think Kiln is one of the best final areas in the series, and there's not even a whole lot going on there. It kind of goes against my base, as I said before, where I like areas that have a lot going on for them, like set pieces wise. Kiln of the First Flame is one of the best looking areas in the series. Might be my favorite looking area overall. Like, I like a lot of the Bloodborne areas too, but I think Kiln is the best looking area in the game. I'm going to say that the Dark Knights there, I know people hate them. I know people hate the boss run. I like the boss run a lot. I think it allows you to, like, you know, take breaks between fighting Gwyn. I'm usually against boss runs because they waste a lot of time. Music? Oh, Sif. No! No! Not the Sif death theme, please. I talked about this before during the Kiln of the First Flame for Dark Souls 3 stuff, but yeah, I like it a lot. It's well designed, it's fun, it's very good. Lost Izalith. Dog killer. Oh, yeah, that's right. We are all dog killers, as we know by Darkroot Garden. I didn't actually talk about Darkroot Garden, did I? But you can kind of just base it off. I like it. It's a good forest area. You fight Sif at the end. That's sad, but it's also well designed. And then the whole cat part, like the Sonic cats. No, that's terrible. I hate that part. Right, Lost Izalith. I kind of like it more than Demon Ruins. I think Demon Ruins doesn't have a lot going on for it, but Lost Izalith just looks cool, and also I kind of like those horrible monsters, those like octopus things with like, the claw hands. They're really terrifying, but also I like them a lot. You know, the best boss at the end of it, Bed of Chaos. We all love Bed of Chaos. You can skip all the lava parts of Lost Izalith by giving the Spider Firekeeper 30 humanity. Yeah, you can. That is also one of the things I like about Lost Izalith. It is connected to other areas, and you have to go through the tunnel where Solaire is. I was about to say Solitaire. you can find Solaire in the tunnel, and he'll be dead, and he'll be taken over by a chaos bug, and that is sad. I don't like that part. But Lost Izalith is kind of rushed, but also for what it is, I like it a lot. It feels more well put together than Demon Ruins, I feel, and also I like its design a lot. But now, moving on to kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, I like New Londo Ruins quite a bit. Not as much as Blighttown. I think New Londo. I don't know why I have such a love for New Londo. I think it's because it's creepy. It's like a ghost area. I love how you come here for that first half of the game, you go through it all, and then you have the last part where you drain the water and you encounter all the horrible stuff that's been going on below it, and it's so good. Like the whole like skeleton monsters, that giant like slime monster you encounter. It's so good. You also encounter what are they called? What are the enemies called? The ones that DeviantArt likes a lot. But yeah, I like it a lot. I think its design is cool, and I would like to see more of it in the future. Right, we are gonna have to start going faster through these because I was planning on making this stream 3 hours long, and we're only through the first 3 tier lists, and I got like 5 more to go. So, right, Ulasil Sanctuary. It's like 2 seconds long, and it's got mushroom people, I guess. That's kind of cool. You fight the Oh no, you don't find that. You don't fight the boss there, do you? C tier. Ulasil Township. Okay, I like Ulasil Township a little bit. It's not the best area in the series, but not the best area in the game, but it's designed as well. It's designed well. The enemies here can suck a dick, but they're also really fun. No boss though. It's kind of really short, to be honest, and not a whole lot of memorable stuff happens here. You do get like items here that are really hard to find. I remember when Mel was going through that mod of Dark Souls 1 Daughters of Ash, we were trying to find an item here that was really difficult to find, and it just sucked. So I'm gonna put Ulasil at B tier. Painted World of Ariamus. Oh boy. I mean, a lot of people have talked about this one. A lot of people love this one, and I also love this one. I think it's one of the best areas in the series. I like it more than the one in Dark Souls 3 for the reason that it's a lot more mysterious, like a floating island in the middle of a void, basically. You fight Priscilla at the end, you got the dragon ass, you got the crow enemies, you got the part with the spear boys. It's just a really well-designed little section, and I think FromSoft are best when they're doing isolated areas like Canehurst Castle and Bloodborne, or this, or Archdragon Peak, or Dreadheap, or Ving City. Bone Wheels in the basement, that is true. The Bone Wheels are there. Not a good time, but you know what? They're still a thing. And also, obviously, it's like the first snow area in the series, so that has we have a lot of love for that, so yeah. Quaylag's Domain. D tier? I don't like spiders, so... You encountered that amazing NPC there who talks like Skeletor. I like that NPC. What else? Quaylag is a boss you fight, I guess. But yeah, not really a whole lot else to say about Quaylag's Domain. It just exists, and it exists as a transitionary area between Demon Ruins and Blighttown, basically. Right, Royal Wood. Ah, this is the area of the gardeners who like jump to their deaths. Yes, I remember that from Mel's playthrough. I'm gonna put Royal Wood at B tier, above Chasm. In fact, why is this not above Chasm? Royal Wood is interesting. It's basically a giant forest. It's like Darkroot Basin, but I like Darkroot Basin a little bit more because it has Sif in it, and it also has who else does it have in it? Sif? Oh yeah, Sif. And it has more interesting enemies. Royal Wood is just a lot of gardeners with like shear tools. I mean, that's cool in concept, but like, I don't know. And of course, it does have Artorias at the end, and we all love Artorias, so yeah. Right, Sanctuary Garden. I mean, it's basically Ulasil Sanctuary, but with the boss. So I guess I like it a little bit more because of the boss, I guess. Sen's Fortress. Music? Oh. Sen's Fortress is a weird one because it's like Blighttown in that it's well designed. In fact, yeah. It can go here. Sen's Fortress is basically just a giant trap tower. You have boulders, you have swinging blades, you have arrow puzzles, you got your first mimics here. Everyone always says the catacombs is where you first encounter the mimics. I know it's here in Sen's Fortress. They're great. I love mimics in the series. They're really creepy enemies. They kind of teach you to be careful around stuff like chests and traps. I think Sen's Fortress is similar to Depths in how it teaches you to not just run through areas. You need to check the floor, you need to check the walls and the ceiling to make sure you're not going to be killed by something. And then Dark Souls 3 too took this concept and made it the entire game, so... yeah. And also, this is like the transitionary point to Anor Londo, and we all love Anor Londo, so... Catacombs. So, you go to catacombs either at the start of the game or the end of the game, or like in the last part of the game. Like, you don't have to go to catacombs until the last part, and I like that. I like that you can choose to go here whenever you want to. It's creepy, but not as creepy as Tomb of Giants, so I don't really know where I'd put catacombs. I guess I like it a little bit. I'll put it at B tier. I think catacombs by itself is really well designed, and you also encounter patches here again. Also, the bone wheels are great, and the best boss in the series, Pinwheel's at the end, so we all love Pinwheel. Next, Duke's Archives. Okay, completely different to the catacombs. Duke's Archives. I think I like this less than Grand Archives from Dark Souls 3 because it's just annoying as an area. I like the part of the music box and those like weird siren enemies who you need to stop by destroying the music box. Like the whole like set piece where Seath kills you and locks you up is cool. But outside of that, I think Duke's Archive is just interesting, I guess. I like the shooting part, but like they didn't really do a whole lot of the library setting. It's mainly just you have these two giant rooms with like these switching staircases. Do whatever you want with that, of course. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at I'm gonna put it above Catacombs, just about. Oh boy, our favorite, the giant tree, the one we all die on. Don't lie, chat. When you first came here for the first time, we all plummeted down this tree. You can even hear now the yells, the scream, the salt that came out of everyone when they fell down this tree to get to Ash Lake. And we didn't even know what we were getting into when we first came here. Like, we didn't know that like an optional area would be at the end. So, like, imagine climbing down here without the Lord Vessel. That would not be a good time. But yeah, it's just like the origins of the pit. Like, climbing down like giant like staircase is without dying from gravity. It's kind of like the origin of that. And of course, it's right next to Blighttown, which is the origin of like poison swamps, basically. So, yeah. Great Hollow. Kind of like Great Hollow a lot. Where would I put it though? I'm gonna put it at the end of C tier. Right, the Valley of the Drakes. I mean, I'll put it above Crystal. I'll put it above Crystal Cave because Crystal Cave is just hot pain and suffering. While Valley of Drakes, it has like some good enemies there, and I like that's where you first encountered that like weird like giant rotting dragon thing too. But yeah, we mentioned this before. It's just a transitionary area, like abandoned dungeon, so not really a whole lot else to say for that. Right, Tomb of Giants. Well, it's probably the hardest area in the game for me anyway, because of an enemy there, which we like to call the Bone Dog, the giant, horrible Bone Dog monster that will kill you without a second thought, and you can't do anything about it because you're in the dark, you can't see anything, and there's stun locking. There's stun locking elements in that fight. You also encounter the baby skeletons here, which are kind of creepy to think about, and then of course Nito's at the end, and we don't like Nito, so. Yeah, it's just like the final part of the catacombs, and for that reason, I think the difficulty part of it makes me want to put it a little bit higher than catacombs. So I'm going to put it at A tier, because I like the whole dark mechanics and having to run through it. I remember Mail playing through it, and it wasn't a good time for him. meant to fight Typer earlier. Thomas is my favorite boss. Thomas is true boss. That is true. Thomas is the best boss in the series. We all love Thomas. Right, Undead Asylum. So, Undead Asylum is the first place you go to in the series. The first, for a lot of people, this is everyone's first experience of Dark Souls. Running into that giant room, that giant monster falling down in front of you and killing most people, while some people ran to the exit. That is what most people will remember about Dark Souls and will remember for the future of FromSoftware games. And I think for that reason we have to put Undead Asylum at S tier because of its significance. I think Undead Asylum is a fantastic tutorial area. Has a lot, and obviously it's teaching a lot of new players the mechanics, and I think that whole encounter with the boss is one of the best ways to tell the player Dark Souls means business. You need to be good. You need to be ready for it. And yeah, that's what I kind of like about Undead Asylum. Right. Undead Burger. Wait, did I call it Undead Burger? I thought I called it Undead Burg. I think I must have been thinking about burgers when I made it. God damn it. Must have been hungry. Right, Undead Burg. Not burger. It's kind of like the beginning area after Firelink. It's kind of like the where the game first steps up in difficulty. That's where you encounter Taurus Demon. That's where you encounter the bridge with the fire, the dragon. I kind of like that. But outside of that, it's just mainly there. It exists. So I'm going to put it at B tier. Between Duke's Archives and Catacombs, because I do like Undead Burger quite a bit. And finally, the final dungeon in the game, final area in the game, Undead Parish. The church part is cool. I like the gargoyles. I like the shortcut to Firelink, and also similar to Valley, it's kind of like a transitionary area between places. Also, hello, Queen of Jungle Lake. So I'm gonna put it at the end of C tier, I think, because the whole chapel part is interesting, but also it's a little bit, you know. Right, Dark Souls 1 locations. So we are now halfway through. And next, I'm going to make the next part a quickfire round, because I'm currently playing Dark Souls 2, and I'll probably have a better opinion later on. So I'm gonna like speed run through these, because if you don't know, Dark Souls 2 has a lot of locations. Has probably the most in the series, and yeah, that's not. It's a case of quality over quantity over quality, and yeah. Right. Before I do this though, I'm gonna have a quick drink and also gonna have a snack, because I've been talking for quite a while now, so I'm gonna rest my voice for a second. But I'll be right back in a second. I'm just gonna leave you with the pre-stream. In fact, let me change the background, because I've had the second one for quite a while now. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I got a snack. I had a snack, to be fair. And I am back to do more tier lists. We're only halfway through, chat, and we're already like halfway through the stream. I don't know if we're going to get on to do the bosses today. Unless I like quick fire the next rounds. Right. But we were here last time, and we were looking at Dark Souls 2 locations. Like I said before, I'm gonna quick fire through these. I'm not gonna go through these like do an essay like I did for the last ones. I'm just gonna run through them as fast as I can, just to get on to the more interesting ones like Bloodborne and Demon Souls. So saying that, let's do this, shall we? Aldia's Keep. It's a scholar location, I guess. I like that. I like the idea of that. The whole like skeleton part, like the transition to dragon area is great too. Yeah, I think it's an interesting area. I think the whole like mystery behind the sculptures and stuff is interesting. So I'm gonna put it at mid tier. Belfry Luna. This is where you fight the gargoyles. I don't like that fight at all. You also have the whole part where you need to like light the bell to get even through the boss door, and that is just kind of like a, you know, a side quest basically. It's not even you don't even have to do it basically. It's just there as an optional area. I think even in Scholar of the Lost Sin they moved the key for Lost Bastille just because they didn't want people to have to go through here and fight that boss. So I'm gonna put it at D because it doesn't really exist outside of that. Belfry Soul, I don't even remember it existing. I'm just assuming it's gonna be like Belfry Luna and there's gonna be like a boss at the end of it, like more bell gargoyles. So I'm gonna put it at D as well. Blightstone Cove, Seldora. Well, Spider area would be C. I actually remember liking this area quite a bit though, like how it was designed. It's quite long too, but yeah, it's just mainly the spider area of the series, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna put it at A, I think. Broom Tower. Oh boy. So Broom Tower is, I would say it's the hardest area in the game outside of Frigid Wastelands, because you have these enemies that can one-hit kill you with their AoEs. You have the spike mechanics where you need to spike these like obstacles. You don't really get those sorts of things in Dark Souls where you actually need to like do something to kill the enemies, but you have to do that here, otherwise you're going to die really fast. It's very interesting looking. I like running across the chains, I guess, but outside of that, it's just mainly there to exist. I'm going to put it at B tier, I think. Cave of the Dead. Oh, that's the gank dungeon. We don't talk about a gank dungeon. In fact, this is going at the end of D because of that gank encounter. We hate that boss around here. Dark Chasm of Old. This is optional content, and I remember you needed to light up 3 of these to actually fight the boss, but I think these were just like weird like cave systems where you fight some enemies and that was it. There was nothing else going on for outside of that, so I'm gonna put it at D as well. Doors of Pharos. I like this area. I think it brings the Pharos Lockstone mechanic, which I actually like quite a bit, into play a lot. And you have to try to work out which doors you want to open and which doors you don't, because otherwise, well, bad stuff will happen if you open the wrong ones. But you can't really find out, though, which is my problem with this. Like, the whole, like, Pharos Lockstone system would be interesting in concept. But the problem is that most doors are gonna fuck you over, and that'll be a waste of an item that's really rare to find. And it's just kind of there as an extra stab in the chest by Dark Souls 2, to be like, oh no, we hate you, we hate the player. We're gonna be as difficult as possible. Both Belfry Soul is where you can be a member of the Bellkeeper's Covenant, and where if you pass through the fog, then you'll find a Bell Guardian waiting. Unless you've killed it before, then it is Greystone for souls. Oh, interesting. I think that area is actually where I need to go to next, so that's good to know. But I'm gonna put Doors of Pharos at A. I like its design quite. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it at B. Dragon Memories. This is not even an area, it's just an encounter. I'm gonna put it at D. Below these ones. What's smoother right now? Oh. Dragon Shrine. This is where you encountered the ancient dragon and if you so choose so, you can fight the Ancient Dragon, but I would suggest not, because it sucks. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Dragon Shrine, Demon Souls, nice indeed. Matt Damon Souls. I'm gonna put Dragon Airy at... Oh no, I remember now. There's those horrible enemies you need to fight, because otherwise you're not allowed to get to the Ancient Dragon. No, fuck this area. Dragon Area, on the other hand, S tier. I like this area a lot, because I like dragons. I like dragons quite a bit as mythical creatures. And so coming here for the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love this place so much. You also get that the feather here that allows you to use Homeward Bone whenever. Indeed. Dragon Santa. Yeah, and the dragon whole, like, you need to kill dragons here stuff is really good, and I remember really liking it. Right, Dragon's Rest, however, is that just the boss? I wonder if this like location thing only like counted the the actual bonfires maybe. I'm gonna put Dragon Rest at D because I don't even remember it. I think that's where you fight Sin. Dragon Sanctum, on the other hand, that's where you have to climb down the giant temple thing in like Shulver. I don't remember liking that too much, but it is an area, and there's some stuff to do here anyway. Drang Lake Castle. Ooh. See, I like Drang Lake because it's one of the only areas in the series where it rains, like there's some actual weather going on. So that's a kind of a cool thing about it. I will say though, I don't like the actual area itself. It has the same problem with Irithyr, I feel, where there's not a whole lot that goes on inside of it outside the ghosts and the two Dragon Rider bosses. So I'm gonna put it at A, above Whitestone, because it is still good. And in Dark Souls comparison, Dark Souls 2 comparison, I would say it's one of the better areas. So Urban Peak, you can go there, mate. I hate you. Too much like too many narrow platforms, too many places where Pyromancers can one-hit kill you. Sorry, I need to cough for a second. Yeah, too many encounters where... It's Plinplon! Oh my god! Plinplon. Plinplon, Plin. Plinplon, Plin. Plinplon. But yeah. Wait, what was the one I was doing? Drang Lake can go there. Forest of Fallen Giants. Oh boy. I don't know. B tier, I guess. I like the introductory feeling of it. I like running through the area the first time. I will say the mod made it painful to get through because they didn't put a bonfire lit and into the final section of it basically, and you had to get through it. And now I got an ad for Elden Ring. Good, you got the right ads, but also you got an ad. Oh. You might be getting ads because I put Elden Ring in the game category page. Okay, so next one, Featured Outskirts. Next one, Frozen Ilum Lois. Featured Outskirts, I don't need to talk about it. Everyone knows how much that area sucks. We don't need to talk about it, okay? It's like that Disney song. We don't talk about Featured Outskirts. It's not okay. Right, Frozen Ilum Lois. I actually kind of like Frozen Ilum. I think the enemies here are tough as balls. There's those like weird like Sonic the Hedgehog enemies that run towards you. They kind of suck. But I like the invisible enemies that appear, and you have to try and like, you know, ring the bell and stop that from happening. And yeah, it's a really fun looking area, and it's quite well done, to be honest. Grand Cathedral. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, both these areas, Drang Lake and Frozen Ilum, have like soul mechanics where you have to kill enemies to open doors. You have to use their souls to like enter into the doors and contraptions to allow them to work. That's one of the coolest things in the series, and this is the only time they appear. That mechanic appears. Like Grand Cathedral for one reason, and that's the boss at the end. I know I don't include the bosses, but I gotta give Dark Souls 2 the benefit of the doubt. And I love the boss at the end of this and the cinematic that plays. And I also like how Ilum kind of works. Like, you need to go find 4 knights, and then you need to go and fight. It's basically like a raid boss in Final Fantasy XIV, where you need to go and fight the great evil at the end. And the more armors you have, the easier it'll be. What's this? Oh, good, Shrine of a Mana. Wait, is this Shrine of a Mana? Oh, it's not, okay. And then you have Grave of Saints, which is that weird rat area where you have to kill a bunch of rats. That's it. This is what this area's theme is. This happens quite a lot in Dark Souls 2. They have like one idea and then they stretch the idea out across the entire area. What? You want spiders? Go to Brightstone. You want dragons? Go to Dragon Area. You want rats? Grave of Saints. So I'm gonna put it at C, because not a lot happens here outside of that. Harvest Valley. Harvest Valley is going here for one reason, and that's the poison management in Dark Souls 2 being absolutely dreadful. It has the most poison areas in the series, no surprises there, and also you can't really manage it. When you encounter those like weird like gas bubbles basically in this area where you have to go for the passages and you can't do anything about the poison buildup, I hate that. I don't think that this game manages poison well enough. I think there should have been a way for you to manage it better. And also, I like to point out, you don't get the poison ring until the end of Earthen Peak, which is after Harvest Valley, so you can't even manage it with a ring until that point. Right, Hyde's Tower of Flame. I don't know how I feel about Hyde's Tower. I think it's very linear, but also I like how you can branch off and go to the cathedral, the Grand Cathedral there too. The Blue Cathedral. I like how you can pull down the levers and make the boss fight at the end easier, but also, like, you don't want to do that because you can actually parry the boss and knock them off the arena and kill them instantly, so I don't know. I think it's more so you're going to fall off into the water numerous times here, and there are ranged enemies, so I'm going to put it at C tier, behind Dragon Shrine. Huntman's Copse. Again, similarly to Harvest Valley, you can't manage the difficulty here, because if you want to go fight the boss, good luck, because the second you go near the boss arena, 6 super powerful enemies drop down, and you can't lose aggro on them. They don't leave you alone. I eventually found out that you can glitch them out and stop them following you, but the fact that I had to use a glitch to get even close to the boss is kind of dreadful. And also, Dark Souls 2 falls into the problem of you can't go through the boss door until like five minutes have passed. It takes ages to get through the boss door, and if you get hit, you don't go through the door. You have to try again. It sucks. Why is that not iframed? It's iframed in every other game in the series, even Dark Souls 1. Right, Iron Keep. You know, I recently did Iron Keep on my second playthrough of Dark Souls 2, and I hated it, but I also kind of like how it's designed. Like, the lava mechanics are annoying, and you'll fall into lava a lot, similar to Hyde's Tower, where you fall into the water a lot. But I think it does a good job of keeping you on the right track, and also the bonfires are really well placed and not too sparse. I was worried when I went through it on my second playthrough that I'd have to go through half the level again to get to the boss. Thankfully not. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at I'll put it at A tier, the end of A tier. Right, Iron Passage. Both these 3 areas. You know how the funny thing about the DLC is they all have one of these areas. Cave of the Dead, Gank Squad, that's the Shoulder DLC. Iron Passage, the old Iron King DLC, with the Smelter Demon having to run to the boss in a time limit, mind you. If you don't get there in time, you're gonna die. And then Frigid Outskirts. You don't talk about Lord's Private Chambers. I don't know why this was included in the list, but I'm assuming it's talking about the room after you kill the spider boss. So with that in mind, I'm gonna put it at A, I guess. Then, oh boy, So before Silver asked where I would put Majula, yeah, I think Majula is the most beautiful looking place in Dark Souls 2, without a doubt. It does a fantastic job of, you know, kind of relaxing you after a hard encounter. Like, whenever I got annoyed in Dark Souls 2, I would go to Majula and just chill out for a little bit because it's so relaxing there. NPCs are quite fun as well. This is the only Dark Souls game where it feels like the NPCs aren't crazy or insane. They're just genuine people trying to make their way through the world. And the Fire Keeper is great too. So yeah, I like Majula a lot. Now, the problem with the memories is I don't remember anything about them. So, you don't know how Dark Souls 2, but what if we... Oh, wait. But the problem with Dark Souls 2 is I don't remember the memories that much. Basically, where you go talk to the giant statues. They're a little bit hard to find, but also once you get to them, they're not too different. I do, however, remember Memory of Oro, and that's going here in D tier, because that area is not fun, and it's pain incarnate. Memory of J I did not remember, so I'm just going to put it next to Memory of Oro. Memory of the King, I'm pretty sure it isn't even an area, it's just a location where you encountered the king of Jangle Lake, so I'm going to put it with Lord's Private Chambers. I like how I put Lord's Private Chambers at the beginning of D. Like one room is better than all of this. I mean, that's true though, isn't it? Like, I enjoyed going through these areas much more than going through all of this. Memory of the Old Iron King. So, yeah, to get to the really cool fight in this, Sir Alon, I think his name is, the ninja boss, basically pre-Sekiro, you have to go through this like memory section, and I don't like going through it. People always talk about how much they love this boss, but they never talk about the part where you need to run up there, and if you don't get there in time, the time limit of the memory runs out, so you can only be in the memory so long. If you didn't notice, chat, if you don't get through it fast enough, you'll be taken out, and that can even happen inside of the boss fight. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at the end of B tier because I like the boss at the end, and I think it has a good build up to that. Memory of Vamra, I don't remember that either, so I'm gonna put it here. Shaded Woods. I think the fact that I can't remember these areas kind of shows the main problem with Dark Souls 2, that its areas are very forgettable. But now, okay, Shaded Woods. Shaded Woods is interesting. Because it's foggy, I guess, you know, a foggy log, the area. There's enemies here, which I found out recently. There's these weird ghost lads who, when you can't lock onto them, basically. And that might not seem like a problem. Well, you can just run up to them and hit them, right? No. Because if you do a magic build or a pyromancer build, you can't shoot them with it because you can't aim it without locking onto them. So you have to either fire blindly or you have to use another weapon. They go against the whole idea of being able to use a magic build, and I kind of hate that. But then after that, there is that section with the basilisks and then the scorpion stuff, and I kind of like that a little bit. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about Shaded Woods. I'm gonna put it at D. I'll put it at B. Shrine of Amana. Oh boy. This is another controversial one. People hate Shrine of Amana. I'm gonna put it at A tier. Shrine of Amana is memorable. Not for good reasons, mind you, but it also has a really great atmosphere about it. Like, coming up to the Song of Horror boss, what's it called? I don't remember. The song monster, the song demon at the end is great. Like, the build up to it is fantastic with the music there. And also, in fact, let me play it now. The Shrine of Amana music is great. Let me get it up. Shrine of Amana music. But yeah, I think Shrine of Amana has annoying enemies with the range boys who shoot you from the distance of their annoying platforms. But you know what? That's fine. It's annoying the first time, but once you get used to it, it's not too bad. Shrine of Winter, again, not an area, just a room, so... I like how many of these in the D tier right now. It just shows my opinion of Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2, I mean. Shoulder, Sanctum City. I mean, I remember the first part because that's where you move all the buildings around. I also remember it sucking quite a bit. So I'm going to put it at B tier. I feel kind of bad because the DLC stuff is generally really good with the... Oh, welcome in, Loshikoma. Hi, Flower. How doot? Hope you're doing good today. Wait, did you, finish the Xenosaga? I needed to ask. Hope you did. So I should have rated you, but finished that game. It took me so long. I was a bit emotionally overcharged and forgot. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're currently making our way for the Dark Souls 2 locations right now. And as you can see, there's a lot of them in the D category. But yeah, Shoulder, I don't really know how to feel about it. It's just there. The weird bug enemies are kind of cool. I like the designs a little bit, but also they're a little bit annoying, so... Sinner's Rise. So one of the cool things about Sinner's Rise is that first game I started half my life ago. Yeah, when did you start that? You said you were about 90 hours through when I was watching that game. But yeah, hold on. Since you're here, everyone go check out Loshikoma. They were last playing Xenosaga. And I think now that you finished that, you were thinking about going on to be playing. Is this DS2 or all of them? Majula is an S tier. It is. Is this DS2? Yeah, go check out Loshikoma. They were last playing Xenosaga, and I think you said you were going to be playing Xenoblade at some point, which would be interesting. Because I need to go back and play the first game of that, because that was a fun time. I need a little bit before I go to... Oh yeah, definitely. Alright. But Sinner's Rise, it acts as like a boss gate, basically. You can go find the Bastille Keep, which is actually really well hidden in the mod I played. It was hidden behind 2 invisible walls in Lost Bastille. But if you find this key, you can then make the boss a lot easier because you can then actually see the boss. And I kind of like that. But outside of that, it's just more like a tower, and the water section's like well designed, I guess. I'll put it at B, next to Aldia's Keep. Black Gulch. You could sit next to Huntman's Clasp. Now, this kind of goes against what I said before about, you know, an area being annoying but being mechanically interesting. Black Gulch is mechanically interesting. Like, the statues are well placed, but there's a point you have to understand where being well designed doesn't mean fun. And I think Dark Souls 2 doesn't understand this. I don't know. I think the devs were like, oh, if we make this like really difficult, fans will love it, because Dark Souls 1 was also difficult. Fans of the first game liked the bosses, they liked the atmosphere, the lore. Difficulty was a byproduct of that, and you know, the difficulty was great in that game. But then Dark Souls 2 came along and was like, oh, we can make it even more difficult and have areas which are just a pain to get through. And yeah, that's what Black Gulch is. Just a pain, and it's not fun like Blighttown can be. Like, I put Blighttown in S tier for Dark Souls 1, but that's just because I think it's really well designed and doesn't necessarily hold your hand, but it feels fairer. Right. Anyway, the Gutter. I would say the Gutter's a better area than the Black Gulch, because it's basically a giant framework area. Like, it's completely shrouded in darkness, and you can choose to light it up. One of the cool mechanics of Dark Souls 2, which wasn't taken on to the other games, was you can light a torch and you can go and basically light up entire dark areas. You can do this in Lost Bastille, you can do this in the Gutter, and it's really cool to see your progress after you've done all this, because it saves there after you've reset the bonfire, and it feels like you're making progress. I think the Gutter does a good job of that. Also, you know, the dark enemies here are not fun, but I think it's a much fairer area than Black Gulch is, or would ever hope to be. So yeah, I'm putting Gutter at B tier. The Pit. it's not even really an area. I'll put it in B tier. I'll put it in C tier because it is generally difficult. But if you get the laddersmith to come here, its difficulty is taken away completely. Things betwixt. I don't actually know where to put this one because I know a lot of people like the first area in this game, but it's more so you find the troll. The troll kills most people, and then you realize Dark Souls 2 is not going to hold your hand, and then you got the tutorial after that, the tutorial area after that, and I don't really love the tutorial area in Dark Souls 2. I think it holds your hand quite a bit. Like, it's not like Dark Souls 1 where you encounter some challenge in the first area. In Dark Souls 2, it feels like make your way through here and fight these really easy enemies. It reminds a lot of Demon Souls in its tutorial area, which is strange because Dark Souls 2 is the hardest one of the series, I would say, in terms of actual difficulty. And then you have the whole, like, optional areas, like where you go and change your gender in the coffin. Does anyone remember that? Like, where you go to the coffin in the middle of nowhere and you can change your gender there? That was an interesting idea. That never came back. I'll put it at the end of B tier, I think, after Shoulder. Phone of Want. See, I like Phone of Want because it looks cool, but also it's not even really an area. It doesn't really exist outside of, like, the final section. It's like Kiln, but I think Kiln of the First Flame looks cooler in Dark Souls 1, so I'm gonna put it at the end of C tier, just because the final boss fight is great. And then finally, the last two, Undead Crypt and Undead Purgatory. I'm gonna quickly do Undead Purgatory because that one is just a room, so I'm gonna put it here. Undead Crypt. Now, I have a lot of beef with this one, and I don't know if a lot of other people have this because I know a lot of people out there like the boss runs in Dark Souls. There are cases in Dark Souls where I like it, like the Kiln of the First Flame in Dark Souls 1. Some of the stuff in Dark Souls 3 is done well, like where you have to run up to the Crystal Sage. But this one is just dreadful. You basically can't get to the boss door until you defeat a whole, like, army of enemies in the room before the fight. It combines all my problems of Dark Souls 2. There has these bell enemies in there that can constantly respawn enemies, so you have to kill them first. Already, there's a lot of stuff you need to deal with in here because there's knights and stuff. And that kind of sucks, because Undead Crypt has the best twist in the game, where you find the king of Drang Lake, just a shallow husk of who he was before, in the room in there. And I think that's one of the best parts of the game, in my opinion. And yeah, I just think Undead Crypt suffers for that. I'm going to put it here. Right. So, yeah, as you can see, my favourite area was Dragon's Airy, while all this other stuff was kind of not good. Not good in the slightest. Right, and I'm going to create a thing for myself now. Dark Souls 2 locations. Alright, I think the music's done now. Right. So now, I think we have two left. We have Demon Souls and Bloodborne. Let's start with Bloodborne, shall we? Wait, Demon Souls, I mean. Okay, so the thing with Demon Souls, and this is the way I made this list, Demon Souls has, each area is divided into 4 sections, and the last section of each of those areas isn't even a boss fight. It's just after the final boss, you then get it, and it's basically just a room. So with those ones, I'm going to be kinder to, because they can't really describe too much, I guess. But let's start, shall we? Oh boy, what a one to start on. Altar of Storms. So, I played Demon Souls last year, when the, wait, was it last year or the year before that? When did Demon Souls Remake come out? Let me check. Demon Souls Remake. Oh my god, it's 2020. I don't like that. That's weird to think about. That Demon Souls is almost a year and a half old now. Right. But also Storms, because Demon Souls doesn't put bonfires in convenient places, it puts them at the beginning of basically levels. Altar of Storms is a gauntlet to get through. Like, it has really narrow passageways. You can't run past stuff. It has these manta rays outside that will shoot you dead, and you have to kill them even though they come nowhere near you, so you have to use archery to get them, because then you have to deal with the skeletons who roll towards you and can deal out a lot of damage. And then when you go inside the actual structure, you fight, well, what can only be described as, well, hell, basically. You fight these necromancers who lock you into a corridor, they fire lasers at you, and you have to deal with them, otherwise you won't get through there. And if you die just before the boss, or if you die on the boss, you have to go through all of that again, and it can take about 30 minutes to get through that area. It's not a fun time. And I know people are good at this game and they can get through this area on their first try. I can't do that. I'm not good at Demon Souls. Like, I would say I was better off than most people playing this game because I have already played the previous ones. But like, if this is your first time playing this game, I really hope you got through Altar of Storms, because that is probably the hardest part of this game. So I'm gonna put it at, I'll put it at 8 here because it is well designed. Below the Nexus. So this has a lot of lore stuff, more so than actual like enemy encounters. The boss at the end of this, we joke about it. It's not the hardest boss in the series. It's like, it's pretty easy, but it's meant to be easy, isn't it? It's meant to be kind of a sad fight. Like, you're not meant to really care. Like, you're not meant to, well, you are meant to care. You're meant to be kind of saddened and kind of distressed by this horrible slime monster you've encountered. I like the build up to this fight too, like how cinematic it is. The giant great one just coming towards you when you first get here. So I'm gonna put it at B. That's because of the cinematic and the lore implications behind it. Sanctuary of the Lost. So, if I remember correctly, this is the second area in wait, where is Sanctuary? No, Sanctuary of the Lost is, fuck, I don't remember what it is. Let me just find out quickly. Sanctuary of the Lost, Demon Souls. Oh, Sanctuary of the Lost is the final room in World 3, where you go and fight Swamp of Sorrow, where you fight Maiden Destroyer. I think if we were counting Maiden Destroyer, I would put it at S tier, but by itself, it's visually interesting, like the white purity, like compared with the meat and the dead and the sickened, is kind of cool. So I'm gonna put it at C, just because it has some stuff going on for it, but it's just mainly just a room basically. Gates of Boletaria, basically the first area in the game outside of the tutorial area. Yeah, S tier. It's one of the best designed places in Dark Souls history. Like the game is kind of its checkpoints. Like it's very nice in that respect, but also you have to get through quite a good chunk of it first to actually make some progress. And there's a lot of stuff that kind of scares you to go any further, because if you die, you have to go through all again. But as an introduction to Dark Souls mechanics, like the enemies being hard to deal with, the first dragon encounter, the first boss in the series, what's his name? What is his name? Phalanx is great. Yeah, I think Gates of Boletaria is one of the best first areas in the series, I would say. Inner Ward. So Inner Ward is after you fight the armored boss after the bridge section in Boletaria. I don't know really how to feel about this place. I mean, it's basically just a transitionary area between this and the towers of Boletaria, but I like how many enemies you have to fight here. Like, it's kind of like you're fighting a mini army basically to get to where you need to. And then you got the Penetrator boss after this, who is difficult too. So I'm gonna put Inner Ward at B tier, because it's not bad, but like it's not incredible either. Island's Edge. So Island's Edge is the beginning of the storm area. This is where you first encountered the rolling skeleton boys, and also where you can encounter the first boss you fought in the tutorial area. You can try and kill him again, and you get lots of souls out of it. Yeah, I think I like this area quite a bit. It's more linear than Gates is and and less lenient than Altar of Storms, but it's a lot nicer than Altar of Storms, so I'm going to put it above it. It's a lot fairer than this one, where it's just a gauntlet of trying to get to the end, I would say. Next we have Prison of Hope, the beginning of Latria. Don't know if that's how people pronounce it. I pronounce it Latria, but I think Prison of Hope is one of the best areas in the game, mainly because it reminds me a lot of Irithyll Dungeon, but also you got those Cthulhu-like bell monsters who like claw towards you. They can like grab you, stun you. You then got those giant like flesh abominations at the end too, the giant like statue, the arrow statue. And then the boss is one of the longest areas in the game as well. That and Ivory, what's the other one called? Upper Latria, two of the longest areas in the game, and I think Latria is fantastic as an area design. Sanctuary, it's kind of like pre-Bloodborne. It's kind of like what the inner working, the inner like ideas of Bloodborne before that. I love Prison of Hope. Yeah, it's fantastic. Sanctuary of the Lost. I love Prison of Hope because it's Demon Souls. It is very good. Sanctuary of the Lost. Wait, I wanted to put Sanctuary of the Lost on here. What the fuck? Wait. Why is it on here twice? Everything that game has pretty much summed up in that place. Yeah. I think people... that prison in Dark Souls 3 is like that. Yeah, exactly. I think people who play Dark Souls 1 don't get to experience what I think is one of the best designed games in the series, Demon Souls. I love playing this game. Also, I think this one is meant to be... Why is it on here twice? What have I done? I'm just going to ignore these two for now. Okay, you both can go to the end here. And then we'll try and work out what the areas were meant to be. Yeah, I think people didn't really get to see like the idea behind like Demon Souls and how it was designed, the complexity behind it too. It's fantastic, and I would say it's more well designed than Dark Souls 1 in some areas, which is shocking to say because Dark Souls 1 is one of the most intrinsically designed places in the series, where you can basically any area can lead back to another one, and it's really like a maze basically. 3 times, yeah, it's on here 3 times. Shrine of the Dragon God. It's just a room after you kill Dragon God, and we'll talk about that when we get to that boss. One of the most disappointing bosses in the series, unfortunately, I would say. I'm going to put it at D. Smithing Grounds. The first area is your timer okay? Yeah, it doesn't go unless I click on it, unfortunately. So it's just there. I have to click on it for it to go off. Like once I tab off it. Maybe if I put it here. Nope, that just made it worse. Yeah, it doesn't go unless it's clicked on. Smithing Grounds, the first area in like the desert, like mine place. I've been never having a lot of trouble with this because it's very long and they can really like gang up on you and do a lot of damage. And also there's dogs here too. Oh lord. But I'll put it at B. I think it's good. Sanctuary of the Lost again. Is it on here 4? It's on here 4 times. Sanctuary of the Lost is apparently every area in Demon Souls. I think I might have made a mistake when I was putting this together or something. The Ivory Tower. This is like the last area in Latria. You have to like climb up a tower of the Bell Cthulhu monsters, basically. I would say it's just that. It's well designed. It's annoying too, though. I'm gonna put it at C because there's not really a whole lot else outside of the summoner fight at the end where you can fight a random person online, which is quite cool. The King's Tower. Ah, now this is before. Wait, is it before? No, it's not. Okay, wait. No, yeah, it's King's Tower. So King's Tower is like the last area or Boletaria. I kind of like King's Tower. Not as much as these two places, but King's Tower is like where you last encountered the dragons, and you have to run past them while they like flame you and try and kill you. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Well made. The Lord's Path. We all like Lord's Path. I mean, it's basically like that section from Dark Souls 1 in Undead Parish where the dragon fires fire down, you have to try and avoid it. This is that in a nutshell, and it's fantastic. One of the best design sections, I think. The Monolith Forest, that's after you fight King of Storms, and we'll talk about that when we get to that boss, but King of Storms is a fantastic boss. But I'm going to put it with Shrine because it's just an area. The Nexus. Oh boy, so this is the origin, like the first Firelink-esque location. I'm gonna put it up here with these guys because it's nice. It's really big. There's lots of little routes you can go down. The NPCs here are fun. I will say Demon Souls Remake has the problem of making facial animations too expressive. They look like that Resident Evil 2, like 500% facial animations video. Oh wait, maybe. Oh, hold on. Chat, I made a mistake. Ritual Path is the Altar of Storms location, so I'm gonna put Altar of Storms here because Altar of Storms is where you fight Storm King, the King of Storms at the end. Right, the Tunnel City. That is where. Oh boy, this can go here. The Tunnel City is where you have to go through those like mine shafts, and you deal with those giant bug monsters who take like 10 hours to kill. And then there's a little lava area which sucks too. And then you got that like the pit area where you're gonna jump down, try and avoid dying from the fall. It's quite big and it's quite branching too. I like that about it, but there's also like I don't know if I like it or not. I like Flame Lurker though, but we'll get to that. Throne of the False King again will go here because there's a boss at the end. Again of this tutorial area. I'm gonna put this at B. I think tutorial area does a good job of teaching you the mechanics because the enemies do no damage. Also, this is what it's called. This is what it's called in the guide I was looking at, so I've just given it the same name. And then you can beat the boss at the end. It's actually possible, but if you beat it, then you get killed by Dragon God, so it doesn't matter. Like, Underground Temple is after you fight Flame Lurker and before the Dragon God fight. See, I mean, all it is a room, a corridor, and then you fight the boss. And then the boss is really disappointing. Upper Latria, I mean... I wouldn't say I like it as much as Prison of Hope, but Upper Latria is like... It's basically Progenitor Bloodborne. You encounter horrible monsters here. Like, it's so well designed. I love Upper Latria. I don't love the boss at the end. The Man-Eaters can not exist anymore. If I wanted them to, they wouldn't exist. Right, so that leaves us with these three. Want to try and guess what the areas are, I guess? Right, so this one. I think this one here is Swamp of Sorrow. Okay. Yeah. This one here is Swamp of Sorrow. So that can go here. Because Swamp of Sorrow is, while it's well made and the shortcut is really generous, the whole like being stuck in the swamp and you can't dodge roll basically is really unfair. Especially when you encounter those like giant guys who can attack really fast and there's nothing you can do about it because you can't roll when you're in the swamp, so yeah. And also, when you get to fight invaders there, they can roll. They can roll as much as they want, but you can't. Is there an E tier? There should be. Just for Swamp of Sorrow. You want me to put it in E tier? I can. Hold on. There isn't right now, but I can change it. Give me a second. That work? No. How do I do this? Well, we'll just leave it there for now. I don't know what these two are, so yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave it there with this, with Sport Disciple Keys of the Lost at the end. Right, Demon Souls locations. I think that's a good list. And then finally, the final locations, Bloodborne. I played this on stream. I went through this. We did this together, chat. We went through this game and we played it. It was a good time. Alright, let's... Oh no, Oh, Flower, why would you do this? The first two say Bergenworth. Right, but the second one is definitely not Bergenworth, so give me a second. Let me work out what they are. Okay, that is Bergenworth. What's this one? Okay, the first one's Abandoned Old Workshop. Okay. So Abandoned Old Workshop is where you have to... I'll also include the introduction. In fact, let me put on some Bloodborne music. Bloodborne. Music. There we go. So yeah, to get to Abandoned Old Workshop, you have to jump down, and it's not a fun time. You're inside and out. So I'm gonna put. It's not like the most interesting location. It's cool lore-wise, like going back to this location you've been to 1,000 times, but in the actual world. But outside of that, it's just like an area you can go to, and it's a room. It's cool, I guess. Right, Bergenworth, however, A tier, because I like the bug guys. I think we all like the bug guys. And then you encounter the I don't know what you'd call it, like the giant ribcage enemy. Getting to Rom is great too, and like exploring this old study is really fun. It's one of the best designed areas, I would say. But also, enemies here are great, the lore is great, getting to the boss is great. I think this is going to happen a lot of Bloodborne because a lot of these areas are fantastic. So, Cathedral Ward. Yeah, again, A. I think Cathedral Ward is one of the best design areas. It's basically like the hub of... It's the interconnecting areas. Basically the Firelink, if Firelink was a disease-run, like, filled city of werewolves and, Cthulhu, exactly. And you can also encounter your first Amygdala here. Like, if you have enough insight, you can see it outside of the main building. And, yeah. Cathedral Ward is one of also the largest areas. This is how you get to the DLCs. This is where you get to the lecture building. You can get to a lot more places here than you would think. And then you fight Vicar Amelia at the end, and it's great. I don't really know what else I can say about Cathedral Ward outside of enemies are really menacing. Those giant, like, I don't know what you'd call them. Terrifying. The guys in suits, I don't know what you call them. And also this is where you first encounter Bagman. The bad guys. We all love Bagman. Right, Central Yarnum. The first area in the game outside of Oscar's clinic. I'm gonna put it a bit controversial at B. Not because it's bad, but I think Bloodborne naturally has a higher up rating for the areas. Central Yarnum is great because this is where you first encounter Vicar Amelia. It's where you first encounter Cleric Beast and Gascoigne. And it was also the area that was remade or demade in the Bloodborne PSX game that came out recently, and I enjoyed it because I actually knew where most locations are because this place is really well made and you can memorize them mostly. And also you do a lot of boss runs to get back to Gascoigne because he is not an easy fight. But yeah, as a tutorial it works really well. It teaches you to be aggressive, teaches you some NPCs. You also get the music box here, and I enjoy Cathedral Ward. Cathedral Ward, Central Yarnum. Oh boy, Fishing Hamlet, S tier. Why? Tough one. B is fine, I think, though it is a really good intro area. Yeah, it is. I just think compared to all the other areas, it has to go to B. It's iconic. It is. Oh, it is iconic. Fine, we're going to put it at the end of B, A, because it is iconic and everyone always thinks of it when you go to Bloodborne for the first time, and that does have a massive impact on people, so yeah. Fishing Hamlet. I love Fishing Hamlet. I loved coming here on my stream, first time, I love how it's not like, you know, big and epic for a final area. It's kind of sad and depressing. There's a real sense of an ending here. Like, you know, it's just fifth area. You encounter the giant shark boys who are really difficult to deal with, and they can kill you. Turns out you can actually get a weapon here in the in that well you go to, but you need to kill 2 of them, and I wasn't gonna do that. Maybe if I did the Chalice Dungeons, I would have tried it, but I didn't have the time to do it. But then, of course, you got Orphan of Cos at the end, who I've said before I think is one of the best bosses in the series, and also really difficult too. Right, Forbidden Woods. B. I like Forbidden Woods because it's massive. It's the biggest area in the game by far. Hamlet's cool. I love how dangerous it feels. Yeah, it's really dangerous. You can't mess around there. The sharks are terrifying. There's these lightning enemies who can shoot above you, so you have to keep running. But on to our next one, Forbidden Woods. I mean, yeah, like I said before, it's very big. There's lots to explore. The Shadows of Yharnam is a great fight at the end. The whole like grave area is fantastic. I like how you go progressively through and you encounter more and more like horrible things there. You encounter those like flesh boys. Well, I don't know what you call them, like the glowing boys. And then also at the end, there's the snake boss, of course. And then you get the Bergenworth, and all hell breaks loose there. Right. Oh boy. Forsaken Cainhurst Castle. Let's get some appropriate music for this, shall we? This is going to be a controversial one. I have some opinions on this area, and I'm not doing this again because I want to be controversial. I think Cainhurst, I understand why people like it a lot, but I don't really like it that much. I think a lot of people's enjoyment comes from the fact it's a giant castle and you get to explore it. But it feels like, to me, you go through 2 rooms in the castle, and then it's mainly just rooftop life. you go through a library, you go through the main room, and then you don't really go inside it again. It's also really short. Like, I thought Cainhurst would be a lot longer, but it's like, wow, doesn't take too long to get to the boss at all. Ligarius is fantastic, one of the best fights in the game, but I don't know, there's not a lot of stuff here. Like, you have the blood guide, you didn't have the ghosts, I guess. Like, I don't know, fine. I think it's a cool area, and I appreciate the fact that people love it so much, but I just find Cainhurst kind of meh. I guess. Right, anyway, that's the end of this controversial opinion over Healing Church Workshop. Right, Healing Church Workshop. Oh shit, I don't know. That's the tower you go to near Cathedral Ward, I think, where all the gun guys are and where you jump down the hole. I'm gonna put it at C because it's not very memorable. I'll put it below Cainhurst though. It's not very memorable. Like, outside of the the grandpa in the wheelchair who shoot guns at you. That's fun. And then you can choose to go up to Upper Cathedral Ward, or you can go to down to Old Yharnam. And that's interesting, I guess. But outside of that, I don't know. It's just mainly an area where you transition through it. Like I said before, with the abandoned dungeon or the Shrine of Aman, I think. Like Henwick Charnel Main. I like this as well. I like Henwick Charnel. I think it has a good atmosphere about it. It's like going through an old creepy witch town. Has a good Halloween spooky feel to it. The witches aren't too tough. Like, the enemies here aren't that bad. There's the dogs here that are difficult in some respects. But I like Henwick Charnel Lane. I think it's not necessarily the biggest area, but it's fun. Like Hunter's Dream. Oh boy, we're getting to our iconic beginning areas, are we? I'm gonna put it below Bergenworth because I think Bergenworth is more It's got more lore about it, and I like jumping into the lake for the first time. Hunter's Dream has the whole thing where you fight the final boss here. Spoilers, I guess. You fight the final boss in Hunter's Dream, and I like that a lot. This is where you begin. This is where you end. It's like what other game did that? Sekiro. It's like Sekiro, where you begin in Ashino Reservoir and you end in Ashino Reservoir. Gurnam is great. The Dole is one of the best, probably the best leveling up person in the game, I think. And yeah, I like how the warping works, even though I wish it was a little bit differently. Like, you didn't have to go back here to warp to anywhere you wanted to go to, basically. Like, Bloodborne makes a lot of weird decisions in trying to be different to Dark Souls. Like, you have to come back here to transition to anywhere. You don't get proper healing. You have to get your own, which I kind of hate. And yeah. Right, it's Oscar's Clinic. I'm gonna put it below Canehurst. It's not a very long area. It's more so the first area you're in, basically. You fight your first werewolf here, well, you can choose to avoid it too. And then you can come back here for lore, where you find celestial emissaries everywhere if you did the bad ending. But yeah, it's mainly just there for lore and getting the letter to go to Canehurst. So yeah, that's why I put it just below it. Lecture building. Lecture building. This is the only area which I would put in D, to be honest. Lecture building's like, it's 2 seconds long. It doesn't exist to transition you between this and Nightmare Frontier and Nightmare of Mensis. And all it has going for it is the first encounter with patches and also the lecture enemies, which are, cool in concept, but are also really easy to deal with, so. Right, Nightmare Frontier. Kind of like the Blighttown area of the game, I guess, but not really. It's not too long. I'm going to put it here, between Forbidden Woods and Hemwick Charnel Lane. I think Nightmare Frontier has a lot of cool stuff. I mean, it's the first time you actually go into a nightmare world outside of lecture building. And you can see Mensis in the background. You can see the city, and that's kind of cool. The whole, like, you encounter some of the creepiest enemies here, like the Winter Lantern, which I loved. I love the Winter Lantern, even though it's awful to deal with. You fight Amygdala here. You encounter rock-throwing monsters. There's a swamp at the bottom with the cod-looking creatures. Yeah, I think overall Nightmare Frontier does a good job of having like a Blighttown area not be annoying. And it only has one shortcut in there, by the way, which is near the end, near the boss. So yeah, I kind of like Nightmare Frontier. Right, Nightmare of Mensif. Oh boy. Yeah, I think Nightmare of Mensis it's basically the last area in the game. I think, in fact, it is not too difficult, surprisingly. I think the hardest it gets is the beginning, where you're running away from the Eye of Sauron, basically. But there's a lot of fun lore here. It's also really creepy with like the spiders, the where you can counter the brain in the depths. Also, apparently, what's causing that lighthouse effect is actually the brain. After you pull the lever in Mensif, it falls down into the abyss. I didn't know that before. And then you fight Murgo's wet nurse at the end, which is easy would be the word, I guess. And then finally, what else? Yeah, I think Mensis is a great final area to the game. Like, Old Yarnum. Old Yarnum is kind of like that first area that gets a little bit annoying, I would say, where you have to deal with a machine gun. But again, it's doing what not a lot of the other FromSoft games do, and it's trying to do new stuff, basically. Like, I like the part where you have to run from the machine gun, and then after that you kind of go skulking through the old city, basically. And I think Bloodborne does a good job of that, like making you feel the atmosphere. Let's the design do the job most of the time. Like, the enemies are difficult, the locations are difficult, but for the most part, Bloodborne relies on its atmosphere, and it does a fantastic job of Old Yarnum and all these areas, basically. Like, I wouldn't say any of these areas are bad, but they're all good in their own respects. Like, Research Hall. Research Hall? Oh, fuck, that's the DLC area, isn't it? S tier. Research Hall is fantastic. It's basically Bergenworth if it was more like insane. I like the Living Failures fight. Lady Maria is great. Like climbing the clock tower, like making your way through that is really fun, and also trying to find out all the lore in there is great. And it's also one of the best designed areas, like where you have to switch the stairs the opposite direction, and then it just completely changes. It's fantastic. And then apparently there's like an area I missed where you can go and you can go down to where you fought Abritus and check out that area for a little bit, which I'm kind of sad I missed now that I think about it. Right, and then the last three, Hunter's Nightmare. Also S tier. I think all the DLC areas are S tier. They're all fantastic in their own rights. In fact, I might put it higher than Research Hall because it's a copy and paste of Cathedral Ward, sure, and Central Yarnum, but it also was like really well made. Like going through the Blood River, like encountering all the old hunters and getting their gear, seeing the cinematic of the shell like creature falling from Fishing Hamlet, like making your way to Astral Clock Tower, fighting Lawrence, fighting Ludwig. It has the best bosses in the game. I didn't fight Lawrence, but I've heard good things about that fight. I think Hunter's Nightmare is kind of like how you do like a recycling of an area, basically. And then finally we have Upper Cathedral Ward and Yahargul. Upper Cathedral Ward is also S tier. I like how all the good ones at the end. Upper Cathedral Ward has the choir in it, and that's where you go and fight Abritus. That's where you get the making contact sign. You have those brain suckers, those horrible like fetus enemies you encounter outside the building. I think these 4 areas just perfectly understand how you do atmosphere, and especially Upper Cathedral Ward and Fishing Hamlet, there's a real sense of horror going on there. And then finally, I just realised that Hydrogen Gale isn't on here. Well, I guess that's what your Yahargul Unseen Village is. Was generally shut me up. The music and atmosphere, everything properly scared, which is why it's going to be up here in S tier. Yahargul Unseen Village. So you can come here before you reveal everything. You can come here by getting taken by a bagman, and then you can go fight the Dark Beast, which is cool. But like, I just love this area and how it changes. Like, the lore here is so great. The music is fantastic too. The One Reborn, while not a difficult fight, is still really chilling, and the atmosphere does its job. Like, you don't need the fight to be difficult. You don't need stuff to be hard. It just needs to be atmospheric, and that's what Bloodborne has in spades. I think, like, maybe it's because I've played this game recently, but this game definitely has the best, like, world out of all the FromSoftware games, I would say. And it has some of the easier bosses, but I'd also say, like, outside of Orphan of Cos, it has some great ideas in there. So I haven't included Chalice Dungeon in this, because well, they're all different. So where would Chalice Dungeons be? In C tier, because C for Chalice Dungeon. My first playthrough, turning a corner, getting whacked by Sackboy and waking up in a fucking nightmare. Yeah, it wasn't good. Right, we have 15 minutes to go through all the bosses in Dark Souls. This is going to be a thing. Not bosses, locations. Speed round, let's go. That's what I was thinking. Alright, let's do this. Also, I can't save this, so we're just gonna leave it. Wait, did I get it? Oh no, I need to put a link in, don't I? Give me a second. Alright, let's do this. Oh lord, I'm gonna have to remember what these bosses are, because there's no indication. There's so many. Oh god. Okay. This is gonna take a while. I'm not going through this one by one. What is the first one? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Oh no, that's the no. You can go here. That's the Panther boss in Ilum Lois. Where it's invisible, and then you fight two of them later on in Frigid Wastelands. That's Dark Souls 2. What is that? Is that the Dark Beast? Oh, it is Dark Beast. I kind of like the Dark Beast. I think the abhorrent beast. I mean, that's what I meant to say. Abyss Watchers, S tier. We all love Abyss Watchers and the music with it. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Is it a person? Oh wait, no, it's the Demon Souls boss. The bird boss. I forgot what it's called though. C. Audia from Dark Souls 2. B. C. I don't like Audia that much actually. Now that I think about it. Is that the boss from Demon Souls? I think it is. I can't tell though. Prison. I am so the opposite on Abyss Watchers. Oh, you don't like them, Logicoma? I love Abyss Watchers. What's it called? No, that isn't the boss. I thought it wasn't. That's why I don't want to put it here. I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. Oh, that's the Abjudicator. Oh yeah, the Abjudicator. That one's Dark Souls 3? Is it Frida? I don't think it is. Cause she has like a weird like star thing on her face. We'll leave it, we'll come back. Next one, Amygdala. B. I like Amygdala. I don't like the apparently the Chalice Dungeon version of this sucks because it has so much health. Ancient Dragon. You can go there, mate. Blue Smelter Demon. You can go there, mate. Ancient Wyvern. You can go here. The Spider Boss. I like the Spider Boss. I like how you have to Oh, it's out. Oh, yeah, you're right. You are right. A tier. Actually, you know what? B tier, because the RNG in that fight is not okay. Oh no, they're the Sekiro ones. That's gonna be so much harder. I don't know what the mini bosses are called in Sekiro. Asylum Demon. A. Oh no, B. I like the spider. Yeah, the spider's cool because you have to run like towards it, and it's kind of like a Final Fantasy 14 fight a little bit. Like you need to try and work out when to attack it, which is the best time. Bed of Chaos. D. This AoE is garbage. Yeah. Is that Bell Gargoyles? That's Bell Gargoyles. That's Belfry Luna. That can go D. I don't like that fight one bit. They didn't choose like easy images, did they? Okay, that's Gargoyles from the first game. A. I love the Gargoyle fight. We don't have any music for this. Is a lift D is trash. Yeah, it is bad. It's not very good at all. I think that's the beast possessed soul from Bloodborne. I'm gonna put that at C. Oh, Calamite S. Is that Lawrence? If it is, I haven't fought Lawrence. No, that's not Lawrence. That's the I like how this is just trying to work out what the boss is. Gargoyles are better than Belfry Luna. Yeah, they kind of suck. The bull boss in Sekiro, that can go C. Actually, I kind of like the bull boss. Oh, that's what's it called? Bloodstarved Beast. A tier. Is that the Okay, remember, I don't know what this boss is called, but I'm gonna put this at C tier. But no, you can go there. I like this boss quite a bit, just because of how cinematic it is. Kappa Demon, D tier. That Ceaseless Discharge? I think it is. C tier. Celestial Lumissary, D tier. I think that's Centipede Demon. I can't tell though. I think it is. If it is, I'm going to put it at C tier. Troll, the first troll encounter, B tier. Love that boss. The Sir Alon, what's he called? The old Ivory King is fantastic. Oh, this boss. Everyone remembers this one. Oh, that's Ludex, isn't it? I don't know which one it is though. Is it Ludex or is it Champion? I think it's Champion. If it's Champion, I'm gonna put it at A. Quailag? Quailag can go to C. I don't like Quailag that much. Okay, that's Clerk Beast. I like Troll. Yeah, Troll's good. It's just obviously it wouldn't be A. Centipede is crap. Yeah. Clerk Beast is A. Actually no. Clerk Beast is B. I just realized how easy it was. What's this? Corridor's Demon? D. I don't like Jabba the Hutt. Priscilla? B. What am I even looking at? What even is Bit D? What even is this one? I don't. Oh wait, no, I remember that. That's the undead monk from Sekiro. A. I like that boss quite a bit. It means judge. Ah. Okay, that's Greatwood. Greatwood is C. Dancer S tier. Is that Gwendolyn? I think this is Crystal Sage, isn't it? I don't know though. I don't want to accidentally put it on here and then realize it's not the right boss. I'm gonna say that's Crystal Sage. C. Hard agree. Yeah. Dancer's amazing. Yeah, Dancer's one of the best fights. Gwendolyn is B. I don't even know. Oh, that's the Dark Beast, isn't it? Dark Beast is C. Is that the Super Dark Beast? It can go a little bit higher. I haven't thought that one. Oh. Is that Medea? Or no, that's Medea. His Avena. That Avena looks like Medea. You can go there. That's the boss in Dark Souls 2. It's not the best, but I'll put it at B. Fire Sage Demon. C. It's not great. I don't even know what this is. Who's this? Are these like Elden Ring bosses? Wait, are they? I know what this is. This is Demon. This is Demon Prince. I like Demon Prince. I'll put it at B. I don't know what these two are. Copy paste the demon, exactly. That's Old Iron King. Wait, is that Old Iron King? Oh yeah, it is. Old Iron King, C tier. Is that Phalanx? No. Deacons. Oh yeah, it is Deacons, isn't it? B. I like Deacons. I don't know what that is. Wait, no. Dragon God, you can go here, mate. You don't deserve to be on this list. Deacons are something from Sekiro, I think. I would also say it's Sekiro, but I generally don't know. I'm looking at it right now. Who is this man? Who is this man? Right, that is this here is Dragon Rider. So I'm gonna put Dragon Rider C. Is that Dragon Rider armor? Because it has the shield. That's well. A breeder, so you can go to A. Who is that? Emma? Oh, Emma, yeah, Emma can go to A. I like Emma's fight. Dragon Rider armor. I think it is, but the arena doesn't look right. I'm gonna hold off. I'll come back to it later. I don't know what the hell that is. Or that. Gas coin. A tier. Is that Fire Sage Demon? I think that is. No, that's that Flame Lurker. Flame Lurker's S tier. I love Flame Lurker. Oh, the boss in the ghost ship in Dark Souls 2. B tier. No, C tier. The monkey boss? I kind of like the monkey boss. It's unique. So I'm going to put it here. Is that Priscilla? Hold on, I can find out. I don't remember though. Dark Souls 2 final boss. Because Priscilla was like... Oh, yeah, that is... There's like an image here that's the exact same image. White monkey is S tier easily. Yeah, it's really difficult. Oh, it's Elena, the Squalad Queen, you know, from Shoulder DLC. I don't even remember her, so I'm gonna put her C. The boss from Dark Souls, from Demon Souls. I like this boss, B. Is that? That's not. Oh. Wish I could like zoom in. I can zoom in. Yeah, but then you can't see it. Wait, I've got a plan. I got a plan. Right, chat. Stay with me here. I just can't. I just don't want to keep like peering into my screen to be able to see what I need to look at. Right, there we go. Right, so I still don't know what that is. Is that the Colossus from? Oh, I think it is. It's the Colossus from Demon Souls. See. I don't know what that is. Oh no, that's the. Okay, that's the horse boss. D. 4 Kings. B. I think it's including like Vader bosses. Also, Gaven Dragon. D. Oh, that's our boy. Gurman. Foom Knight. It is Foom Knight, isn't it? Oh, okay, D. Genichiro? Well, this is like the easiest form Genichiro has. Like, you can kill him in like 2 seconds, basically. I don't know what this is meant to be. Is this meant to be Genichiro phase 1? I think it is, actually. Okay, S tier. I love the first Genichiro fight. The second one can also go with this one, because I don't remember it, and it killed me instantly. That's the last giant fight. The Nito B. Carp? We counting the carp? Okay, C. Sif? A. Snake? D. These aren't fights list. Oh, Owl? A. In fact, maybe S. No, I like the one in the dream a lot more. Yeah, cart boss. Yeah, it's very good. Monkey? A. Oh, the boss you fight in the cage before you get to Dragonary? I don't remember, it's a C. Gwyn? A. S tier. The horse fight. I like the horse fight. I'm gonna put it at A. Actually, A is quite high for it. Snake adds value to the world, but it's not a boss. No, it's not. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, the jaw monkey fight? Also A. Headless? Headless isn't a boss fight game. I mean, list. C. B. I like the gimmick of the fight. Oh, the spear fight? That's kind of subjective depending on which person you get. I'll put it in B for creativity. The king from the Skeleton King, Skeletor from Dark Souls 3. A. I mean B. What even is this? What is this? Is that the Armor Knight from Demon Souls? Like the knight where you need to kill the archers around it to make it easier. Also, I don't think that's the young version. Yeah. Okay, so this can go to B. I don't remember it being that easy of a fight. S. Why have we got the Pus of Man on here? Pus of Man can go here. I hate the Pus of Man. Yeah, it's included all the bosses that aren't actually bosses. Like, oh, yeah, you can go here, Vendrick. You suck. Artorias? A. I'm not the biggest fan of Artorias. Lady Butterfly, however, also A. Lady Maria? Also A. Oh, the Leech boss? C. Living Failures? C. Centipede Monster? C. A lot of these aren't even like bosses, they're like mini bosses from Sekiro. I fucking hate that fight so much it can only be S. What? Lady Butterfly? Yeah, Lady Butterfly is not the easiest fight at the beginning of the game. Medea. Wait, Medea? Manus? Nook 99 has just followed the Fire Garden. Welcome in, Nook 99. Are we doing good today? We're trying to like speed on our way through this list. The drunk guy? D? C? B? Am I really putting him next to no? What the fuck is this? Man, this is a good challenge, but he's a little bit bullshit. Yeah. Oh, Looking Glass Knight. I like Looking Glass Knight. I'll put it at B. There's like a flaming horse. A little bit. Oh, well, that's Ludwig. Maiden Mistria. See? I don't like the fight, but I like the saying. Pig? D. Is that fucking... It is. Man-eaters. I hate them. They gave me the worst time in Dark Souls, in Demon Souls. Murgo's Wet Nurse. See, it's really easy, like way too easy. Oh, the guy Mikolash from the Nightmare. Also C. I don't really know why that's a fight. Oh, the purple lads, the purple assassins. I'll put that at C. Moonlight Butterfly. D. It's not even a fight. Snake. D. Oh, Moon Presence. B. I don't think Moon Presence is that hard, but like, it's kind of cool, I guess. Oh, there's Priscilla. Here's Priscilla. B. Osiris. B. Nameless King. S. The fuck is this? Old Iron King. I thought that 2 days ago. C. Old King of Land. I kind of like Old King of Land. I'm gonna put that A. Oh, that's the Lost Colossus fight. C, just because it takes ages to get back there if you die. Oh, Demon of Hatred. S tier. It's not even a fight. You just encounter it in a room. What? Dragon Slayer armor? Also D. Orphan of Cos? S tier. I feel like the harder it is, the higher I'm putting it up, but I generally do like Orphan of Cos and Demon of Hatred. This boss, I'd hate this boss actually. From the intro to the DLC, it's not good. Vom? B. Just because of the setting. Scorpion boss? C. Phalanx? C. Oh, the best boss. Pinwheel. S tier. Pontiff Sullivan. S tier. A tier. I do like Pontiff quite a bit. I'm generally struggling with the rest of these. Well, that's the giant you encounter in the first area of Dark Souls 2. Taurus Demon? B tier. Oh, Lost Sinner? B tier. The Rotten? C tier. The One Reborn? C tier. The Pursuer? C tier. Yorm? B tier. Where's there he is. I was wondering where this boss was. I like this boss a lot. A tier. The King of Storms and Demon Souls. Oh, the monk boss. A tier. Oh, that's Sif. C tier. Back off, Sif. A Sif? Thief, not Sif. Sif is a dog. Gale? S tier. Where's Soul of Embers? Soul of Thunder, there he is. S tier. Ah. Frida. That's Frida done. That's Smelter Demon? I think it is. I remember it's Avena. B tier. I like Smelter. I like the original Smelter Demon before you encountered the other one. Chat, I don't know really any more of these unless you have any ideas. Any ones I've missed on this list. Like any noteworthy ones. Like, what is this one? Oh, that boy. What's it called? Vort B tier. Oh, the best boss. 4 is Dragon Knight armor. Okay, let's put Dragon Knight armor at B. What is this? Oh, Sir Alon. Yeah, Sir Alon can go up A tier. I like Sir Alon quite a bit. Oh, the old demon you encounter in Dark Souls 3. A giant. Oh, the giant like dog thing. C tier. Not sure about second. Yeah, because they're all like the same, unfortunately. Okay, where's Lawrence? Is this Lawrence? Or is that Lawrence? I'm looking at the oh. I'm looking at the flaming ones. Have they skipped over Lawrence? That's not Lawrence. I'm trying to think of what bosses I haven't done yet. Where's Vicar Amelia? Have we done Vicar Amelia yet? Oh, there she is. Hey. Tower Knight, bottom right. Oh, yeah. What even is this? What is this? Nothing. Oh, yeah. Asylum Demon. See. I really am trying with the third one along, but I have no idea what it is. Second row, False Knight on the right. Oh, I know these bosses. See. False Knight. False Knight? What, from like Chaos Demon? False King. Oh. Oh. Oh yeah, cause he's squishy. I remember now. Okay. D. I mean, I like the plot significance of it, but it's not a good fight. Oh yeah, and the demon as well. B. Who is that? Is that the person who like walks over a thing? Oh, I know what this boss fight is. I remember now. That's the penetrator fight in Demon Souls. Oh, Skeleton Lord's the best fight. D tier, where it like spawns more if you kill them. Oh, the monk fight is basically the spear fight, so I'm gonna put it in here. Oh, the what's it called? The conjurgence in the spider area. Speaking of, where's that spider boss? Where is Lothwick? Oh shit, yeah. Bottom middle. Yep. It doesn't become a point now of us just trying to work out where the final fights are. What else? We've got Yorn, we got Aldridge, we got Crystal Sage, we got Great Rodving, we got Vault, we got Dancer, we got Ludex. Have we got normal Gundyr? I also have no idea who this is. Chat. Unless we can find one more, I think I'm gonna leave it here in terms of trying to work it out. I think we've got some good ones, like we've got the obvious ones in S tier, A tier, B tier. The reason why I didn't want to do bosses was because of how long it would take. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here for bosses. Let's move on to another one, shall we? And the last one, and it's not gonna take too long. It's kind of the obvious one which we would end on before we start talking about Elden Ring. Is this? Wait, what? FromSoftware Souls type games tier late list maker. Okay, let's do this in order, shall we, from what order I played. So first day I started with Sekiro. It's a masterpiece. Dark Souls 3 is damn good. Dark Souls 1, amazing. Dark Souls 2, good. I didn't play the original Demon Souls, so I'm just gonna put that there. But Demon Souls is damn good. Bloodborne, masterpiece. And Elden Ring is probably going to be a masterpiece. There we go, we're done. We're done for the stream. That was a lot of talking. But you know what, we're gonna leave it there for stuff chat. So kind of plans for the rest of the week. For me, Demons is a B, and the only reason for D is DS2. Yes. We talked about DS2 before, but like DS2 is not a great game, not the best game in the series, but it's also not terrible. There is good stuff in Dark Souls 2. But yeah, I'm done for today. I've been talking for about 4 hours now, and I hope everyone had a good stream. It's been fun doing this. I will be doing Elden Ring related stuff next weekend, where I'll probably try and record my first experience of that game and try and see how much I can get through it in a weekend. But yeah, that's been the stream for today. I do hope you enjoyed. Let's have a look at that countdown one last time, shall we? 4 days, 4 hours, 42 minutes, and 30, 29, 28 seconds. That has been the stream for today. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go raid